What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the den. I apologize for the slight delay. Had to check something before we got tooted and booted. Give me just a second. While we're getting here, I'm glad that you could join me this evening, all you wonderful people, all you lovely individuals. I hope that life is treating you well. I hope that everything that you want is coming to fruition. So, we're going to talk about some things tonight. And you know how we do in the den. We have a primary topic, and I was going to do Sunday night confessions, but I didn't do it tonight. But I just kind of want to have this conversation because I know there's a lot of talk going on, a lot of things going on. So I want to kind of get some honest opinions. I want to get some thoughts on, all of the news and all the topics that are going on with Trump. And I want to see how people feel, if people think that he's going to become impeached. If so, or why not? What will be the fallout? Is it another Russia situation? I just kind of want to get you, the wonderful den folks, your opinion, your thoughts, your feelings, your vibe on this whole situation. Excuse me. So we have joined us tonight, and then we're going to get into it. Jason S. Only one lie. Says you're still litigating your case with customer relations against you. You got to stay pertinent. We have a case number filed, and we will be getting back to you soon with the Sweetberry situation. Miss Bell, what's the motherfucking deal? D the Gamma, how are you this evening? What's the motherfucking deal? INF Storms. Let's see. What's the motherfucking deal? Alex Laura. We have Sweetberry. What's the motherfucking deal? To everybody. Rashida come in, she dip in, mark her pistachio, and then dip on us. You know what I'm saying? That's how she do it. I peep her game. LaDon Mellow Moonchild, what's the motherfucking deal? How are you this evening? I hope life is treating you well. Let's see. Where are we? Let me make sure I fix this here too. Give me 1 second. All right, cool. 335 in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? The stenographer taking notes. You better stay on your A game, because if not, the stenographer will take note of where you're slipping. So Lisa in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? So Lisa, man, good to see you. Let me see. Isley, early pistachios. What? I don't know, man. I don't know if Isley was here on time. Let me do some proper. Let me do some proper time checking. I don't know. That timestamp say right on the brink. You know what I'm saying? Right on the brinkety brink. But I will grant you your pistachios, Ronald Isley. Let me see. H-Town Life, what's the motherfucking deal? Trixie McFly, Fly recognize Fly, what's the motherfucking deal? Shonda Tony, how are you, Miss Tony? Glad you could join us this evening. Coltrane. Ready for the stream 40 minutes ago. I don't even know if this was I had this stream in mind 40 minutes ago, but hey, if you're ready for it, I'm ready for it. Let's make it happen. Let's see. Doodaloo. Let me see. Be for real. What's the motherfucking deal, Broderick? We are still waiting. I don't even think Broderick, we never got to the conclusion of what that picture was that Broderick sent in. Cassie, what's the motherfucking deal? Glad that you could join us. I just realized what the Outer Worlds was. And I remember seeing it a while back, and I actually kind of looked to it. It was a very interesting looking title a while back. Joshua Grant, Eastside Hero, what's the motherfucking deal? Glad y'all could join us. Let me make sure I am not missing. If I missed you, I didn't dish you. Rolling Express, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's get into it though, man. And I'm glad all of you can join again. If I missed you, I didn't dish you. I don't know if I really should give Ron Lies these pistachios, but I will. I want to talk about Trump impeachment and all the things that are going on. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm real loosey-goosey on the politics. Because it's so much bullshit that comes out all the time. Really? Okay, then I definitely got to play it because I'm a Fallout fan. I'd probably enjoy that more than I would Call of Duty. Because Fallout is my shit. Fallout 4 was cool, but the Fallout is my shit. I definitely like that style of game, so I'm going to have to check that out. So my thing is this, right? Exactly. Exactly. It's been Russia. It's been grab them by the pussy. It's been, it's been, if it's not one thing, it's something else. And it's always, some type of pushing of the envelope, moving of the goalpost to try to make it seem like he's just done something so detrimental. And again, you can be impeached and not be, not vacate the office. So this kind of be, I fucking fall out like super tough. That's my shit. But my thing is, like, it's to the point now where I'm tired of hearing it. You feel me? Now, do I necessarily care? Yes and no, because I feel like if you got a little ground about you can survive no matter who's the president. It doesn't really matter who's in the White House. It doesn't matter. But there are things that are taking place in the world around us that I have concerns about. Now, to some people, I'm going to throw a worst case scenario out. To others, I'm going to throw a best case scenario out. Just depends on what side you're on, right? Oh, we've been toxic. I think the toxicity is just being exposed. It's not being, you're not putting a layer of sugar over it to make it seem like it's not what it is. Yeah, they were calling the guy, the ISIS leader got taken out, and they were calling him, what did they call him? They gave him austere, some fancy title. They tried to make it seem like he was just a scholar, an austere scholar or something like that, right? And that's the crazy. Yeah, he was a scholar and supposed leader of I. Like, come on, man. Like, it's so crazy the shit that we go through. But anyway, next time I'm gonna throw a worst case, best case scenario out there. We're gonna talk for just a second. I ain't gonna talk too long, and I'm gonna open up the line and I want to know your thoughts because, like I say, me, I don't really give a shit. I don't have an issue with Trump. Like I said, I'm not loving the ground that he walks on, but I don't hate him for breathing. Like, I think he's a suitable target for people to blame their problems on. But I'm gonna tell you a couple of things that I can't wait to happen. Right? I can't wait to happen for a couple of things. Now, maybe a few years down the line. Now, one of the reasons why I can't wait till there is a point where he's out of office, because then, say the Democrats do get back in office, who do all these people get to blame their problems on? Right? Or do the problems just go away? Do they just up and disappear? Because I will swear that I'm pretty sure that if you have problems now that you're still going to have them in the future. And that's kind of the thing. So, say one of these people that you want that, whoever wants in office, one of these super crazy ones, say Bernie gets in or whatever happens, then what, right? Then who do you blame for your problems? Because you're still going to have problems. Not like as soon as he gets elected, things are going to get fixed. There's going to be so many issues. Yeah. Oh, man, absolutely. And again, like I said, I didn't think it was a thing. Once he got in, I started paying attention to how things were happening. It was very intriguing. And again, like I say, I don't get the outright hate for the man. Again, it's an odd thing to me. I think again, like he's an easy target to me for certain people to blame. Astros win, yes sir. One more to go, 4 in a row. They're coming back to the city now, right? Yes sir. It's going to be good. So my thing is now you have no excuses, okay? But the thing about why I do want him to stay in, or at least the leadership to remain conservative, because here's what's going to happen, right? And I think a lot of I think even a lot of you more, Democratic leaning or liberal leaning, or however you want to identify people would agree with this, is we talk about stories in here every night, right? Okay. We talk about these stories here every night. About the transgender stories where these kids, 3, 4, 7, whatever, getting pushed into shit that they don't even know or want about, right? No, I'm not, so we'll get into that. But that's okay to a lot of people. We talk about how your personal rights are getting imposed upon and you're being forced to say certain things. I guarantee you, if the Democratic Party gets back in power again, one of these things they're going to push to throw their supporters little pieces of candy is they're going to start signing these things into law, just like it is over in some of the places in Europe, in Britain and things like that. You call somebody out of, what do they call it, dead naming? you'll go to jail. You call somebody the wrong gender, you'll go to jail. You see the case right now where I think it was a porno person, is trying to get the guy sued or thrown in jail because he didn't want to have sex with him. You know what I'm saying? He thought it was a woman at first, finds out it's transgender with male genitalia, and he says, no, thank you, I'm cool on that. And this person said, that's it, not wanting to have sex with me is as bad as using the N-word because it's along the same line. Like, how? Because I don't fancy your genitalia? I got my own. I can play with my own shit. That's as bad as using the N-word. So that's kind of like what I'm saying. So, you think it's all good, or, people can be under the guise of well-meaning intentions, but it's not as good as you think it is. That's one of my bigger concerns. I think depending on what type of mindset you have, if you're a business-minded person, you are for economic advancement. I think under more conservative leadership, I think business opportunities thrive more so under the conservative administration. I don't even know if it's necessarily censoring, because what you have here is you have Democratic Party. What is it in Massachusetts? They want to ban you from saying the word bitch. They want to. But what happened to free speech, right? They'll put you in jail for using the word bitch. What makes bitch any different than any other word? Bastard, nigga, cracker, homo. I mean, if you use any kind of slur, what makes it any worse than any other slur, right? I want to be free to use all my slurs. I want to be free to use all my fancy profanities. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's a lot of stuff that is going on that is going to, I agree, if the media did their job. The media is out here selling you lies and agenda. I mean, I don't know if y'all been watching the Veritas thing, and it's nothing new. It isn't, but it's just people actually within the CNN camp, and it's not like, to me, they haven't had any just major blockbusters. It's, oh my God, this is mind-blowing information. It's stuff that you already suspected, but it's people coming out and basically saying it, that there's deliberate bias, like the whole time, that they don't care about these other stories. So they rather, instead of giving you the news, they give you this hype machine, and these people have convinced you that the reason that all of your problems are in existence is because of Trump. You had problems before Trump. You're going to have problems after Trump. It doesn't matter if it's from, Obama being in or if whoever comes in. It's always going to be problems. It's always a situation if the guy that you want is not in. That's how it's always going to. That's always going to happen, right? You said don't visit Canada. Oh yeah. You'll get it too in Canada. Anything's a hate crime. It's a hate crime to say, to basically go against, you have to go against your beliefs. If you believe whatever you may believe, you may think that men with penises who transition are women. You may feel that way. You whatever. But there's places where that will get you thrown in jail. So it's very interesting. Again, I don't want to live in crazy world because we're already living in crazy world, right? You're seeing so much of this shit going on already with him being the president. So if you let free reign go, what happens next? We talked the other day about, and we were the phrase, my favorite phrase right now, the soft bigotry of low expectations. We talked about the thing in Seattle. We're saying, well, math is racist. Now you're going to continue to make excuses for people why they don't succeed, why they're not thriving. It's a particular party that does that. Well, we're going to throw you a bone for this and throw you a bone for that. That's the type of shit that kills ambition. People may think, oh, well, I'm benefiting. You're not fucking benefiting from it. They're throwing you a pity. They're throwing you a charity, and you think that it's. I don't know why people glorify it or why they think it's a thing. Like, yeah, you may be in a time of need, but then you get people who end up relying on this, or you start believing this shit. Well, the reason why I didn't succeed is because the math numbers were set up against me. It's a particular kind of person, a particular kind of group. Seattle, I believe, a very democratic place. I think Washington's a very democratic place, if I'm not mistaken. So you have to deal with these ideas. California, like part of California don't even have power right now. What are they doing? They're giving everybody free healthcare except for the citizens, right? They're giving, benefits and all this stuff. To me, I think if, and this is my personal feelings, again, I don't care either way, I'm determined to win. But when you come in talking about we can put a cap on how much you spend or how much money you can make, or we're going to tax you for this, you start talking about socialism. when you start talking about, things impacting the children and confusing them, saying stuff is natural that isn't natural, I think people will do anything to stay in power, and people will do anything to gain power. That's why you have a lot of these groups saying this stuff, saying that, it's okay to give AIDS. You shouldn't have to tell anybody that you have AIDS, and, if you infect them, it's not their right to know. All of these things are coming from one side, and these are the problems that I have. Now, not to say the other side isn't with its faults, but there's just certain things that to me, they're not as big of a deal, because I think you can circumvent, you can come around, you can get around, and if you have a plan. And again, if you're business minded, you're going to want to lean to the thing that works for you. As far as tax loopholes and all that other stuff, you learn your little something, and you can figure it out. Oh, you're talking about that phrase, the soft bigotry of low expectations? Okay, because you give me that, I was like, I don't fucking know. I say a bunch of crazy shit. So again, like I say, it's crazy. And then you see what's going on in Hollywood, right? Hollywood pushes all these agendas to you. They're right there by all the homeless people. Why don't they take some of that money and build something for them and do something for them? Because they have all the opportunity in the world, right? Why not? Why are they not coming out of their pockets and making things happen? But these are the people who are complaining the most, because again, it sounds good. Now, again, I have nothing against anybody who feels differently. As long as you have reasons why you feel that way. Again, I used to lean more left. Things in my life changed. Situation. It's not even necessarily that the situations got better, but I learned things differently. Hentai Samurai, what's the motherfucking deal? Dead Shred, what's the motherfucking deal? Glad you could join us. And again, it's just, when you tell people you can't make it, you need handouts. To me, you're killing the ambition. There's a lot of people who already don't have any ambition. And so I've seen people work harder to get handouts and government benefits who didn't deserve them, didn't need them, were fine, fully healthy and dead. And again, this is my perspective. Then it would be to go get a job, to do a job interview. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, because to me, that's why I say it's not even about Trump himself. That's why I say I'm afraid of what comes after. You know what I mean? Because we're catering these things to certain demographics. You're saying these things to certain demographics. Hey, well, who has the highest population of AIDS and STDs and things? It's generally your LGBT transgender, because it's let's be honest, it's a whole lot of sexing going on in that group, right? It's a whole lot of sexual stuff going on in that group, and unprotected or whatever you got going on. Well, hey, we don't even think AIDS should be a crime anymore. You can live with it. It's okay. Who are you catering to? Your name, and you can be whoever you want to be. If you want to identify as Zer Unicorn, then that's what they should call you. Forcing other people to play your dirty game. Again, that's when it impedes on my life. If you want to do all that, fine. If that's how you want to identify, fine. But when you start allowing stuff and justifying stuff as going and changing your birth certificate from when you were born to say this, that, all these deceptive practices is a problem. There's a lot of deception that's accepted. And if the leaders are saying, hey, we're okay with this deception, what the fuck do you think that they're doing? I have no problem with the billionaire cheating system, because my thing is this. When you can make that much money, you can pay somebody to find the tax loopholes for you. Why? I have no problem with the billion, because to make $1 billion, you had to provide a lot of people a certain benefit. Okay? I don't think anybody just scammed their way into $1 billion. You had to provide benefits to somebody. People get mad at Apple and Steve Jobs and all this, but everybody got a fucking iPhone, right? People get mad at Bill Gates, but everybody uses fucking Windows. It's like people want you to do things and give it to them for free. It doesn't work like that.
Dan Strong donated $5. You can't be telling the truth, Honcho. Those liberals will excuse everything except responsibility. And that includes pedophilia.
Exactly. And that's a thing too. But it just had a case where transgender got caught in the bathroom, and people said, oh, that's not true, it'll never happen. Quote unquote transgender just got caught in the bathroom messing with a 10, 12-year-old girl, something like that. Who else? We seen the thing in Canada, Jessica Yaniv, the thing that they're pushing that shit. I don't know if y'all saw Florida, the newest one, right? Florida man, or no, Florida woman, and this is a straight up nigga. This nigga ain't got no wig on, ain't got no, but they have to entertain him because this is what he says. He called himself Mia something. I'm gonna try to pull up. Where the fuck is my phone? I've been like avoiding my phone. I didn't have my phone the whole soft stream. I don't know what I put my phone. I had it earlier and I put it up somewhere. I'm gonna find it in a second. But this is a dude, looks like your local crackhead, your local dope fiend. But he got arrested because he burned up, I think he burned up a store employee. But I appreciate that, Dan. I agree, man. I absolutely agree. Like, the thing is, what's up, Charlene? What's the motherfucking deal, man? Like, you have to have a standard. We can't just let everything be everything. And again, I'm not saying Trump is the one who built this up and made this standard, but I don't feel like he's tearing it down. I'm more fearful of what happens when the other side gets in power. And again, as far as being a black man in this country and the way that they pander and sell stuff to our communities. And it influences a poisonous mindset. But the guy in Florida, like I said, black dude, looks like a dope fiend. But the headline reads, Florida woman sets, I want to say, McDonald's employee on fire or does something. And you look at it, you're like, where's the Florida woman? It's a dude. Ain't no makeup, ain't no trans surgery, ain't no, just says he's a woman. And the article continues to restate, Florida woman, identifies as Mia something. This dude looked like Larry McNeil from around the corner. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know nobody named Larry McNeil. He just looks like a Larry McNeil. But name identified as Mia. And this is the nonsense that gets to start happening. I can go out and say, well, I identify as a woman, so I need to use this restroom. Okay, one, I would never do that because women's restrooms always got a fucking long. That would be the worst thing to fucking do. They have the longest fucking lines. But again, the sick, the disgusting, the perverts, the whatever, they can do this freely. And nobody's going to stop them because you got to respect them. It's worth it. I've seen these people say, well, it's worth, one or two people, getting violated so that everybody else can have their rights. Changing my pronoun, like all of these things will become mainstream, accepted, and forced upon you. I don't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it may be extremely important to somebody else. It's not important to me. And if that makes me a bad person, but oops, I did it again. I'm a bad man. But I honestly, truly don't give a fuck with that. That's not a problem that I have to deal with. So I don't care. But like I said, we're going to open up the lines here in just a second. And, I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your feelings. Give me just one moment so I can figure out where my phone is. It shouldn't take me but maybe 30 seconds. And I will be right back in 2 shakes of a Scotty tail. Again, sorry about that. So, I wanted to make sure I had that. And again, who is it? Who's the guy? Berto? Not Bretto. Not the Den's very own Bretto. He would never do such a thing. But Beto literally said, I'm going to send the laws to your door to take your guns from you. Okay? The one thing they say, oh, well, we never do the, well, we're just going to take these or those. He said with the AR-15. Again, hype and all of this stuff that they push behind all these things. who was the other one said that, the only people who need guns are, law enforcement. So you shouldn't feel protected in your own home because guess what? Do you realize law enforcement doesn't stop crime? They investigate crime. They generally get there after the fact. And I think that it makes more sense to be able to protect yourself and eliminate the problem than hope that you can run around your house dodging knives, bullets, or whatever weapons that an attacker may be using or a home invader may be using or whoever may be using because they're not going to give up their guns to stay alive until, law enforcement gets there again. And so that's my thing. And I know a lot of people say, well, you sound like you're a hater and you're a bigot. I'm not a bigot. I honestly, truly, genuinely love and want everybody to succeed. But there's just certain things that I cannot entertain because it's detrimental to progress, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And so if it's an important issue to you, I respect that. But you can't expect me to feel just as passionate about it. And I think you have a lot of people. Oh, shut up. Outer Worlds on Game Pass? I'm going to play that bitch. I might play that bitch tonight. I think I still got the Game Pass. Appreciate that, Cassie. I had no idea. Yeah, I think I still got that little Ultimate Game Pass membership. I think it's still got a couple of days or a month left on it, something like that. I'm going to check that out. I've been playing that fucking World War Z. I used to love Left 4 Dead 2. And it's kind of similar. To me, it's not as good. It's cool. Some of the missions are a little stupid, but it's entertaining. I can't complain about it. But again, so, my thing, appreciate that, Cass. Appreciate that information. But again, so I know some people say, well, I don't like it. I don't like what you're saying. And again, like I say, it's not because I'm a blatant Trump supporter, but I feel like there's not too many other politicians who are willing to drop their nuts like Trump and stand up for what they like. I think that had it been any other conservative Republican leadership insider, Washington crony having type guy, they will, I'll concede a little bit of this for my buddies over here on the left, and we'll work a little. Like Trump is like, man, hey, fuck you, man. Trump will hit you with this right here, all right? You know what I'm saying? And keep it pushing. So, like, that's my thing. It's not about wanting to see anybody oppressed, see anybody disrespected. Feel like there's what's the word? There's what's the word I'm looking for, man? Basically give and take. What's the word I'm looking for? It's slipping my mind right now. So I want to say it starts with a C, the word I'm looking for. But anyway, we'll come back to it. But, you give some, you take some. Some things that you are going to have to deal with to have certain things. There will never be a perfect utopia. And that's the problem I think with some people is that they feel like they're supposed to be, life is supposed to be perfect. It will never, ever, ever be perfect. Because even when things are really good, somebody's going to find a way to push the envelope a little. Well, this makes me slightly uncomfortable, so I'm oppressed, and I need to go back and do this. All right, Dear man, I appreciate you coming through, man. You have a good evening. But let me open up the line, man. Let's get some calls in here. Let's, Oh, the pistachios are definitely, you know what I'm saying? Welcome, Unspoken. I'm glad you could join us. And so, you know what I'm saying? But again, I agree with you on that, Alex. But again, like I said, it's gotten to the point where even a lot more people are more party than policy, and it kind of is what it is. But at the same time, like I said, there are things that, I could see and I could understand that you would definitely like to see happen, but the ideas behind them are unreasonable. Hey, if we're talking universal health care and everybody should be, you would love to believe that everybody could be taken care of. Do I think that's a life right? Not necessarily, no. Would I like to see it happen? I think, I would love for everybody. I think people would feel better, but I think even in this century, people don't take care of themselves, and it is what it is, not having adequate health care. But again, when you talk about, well, how are you going to fund it? How are you going to make it quality? How is it not going to become like some of these other places, waiting lists and all the caveats that go with it? There's no real answers. And so that's kind of the thing. That's kind of where I'm at is like, I'm tripping. Let me open up the line here. But that's kind of my thing. Like, if there's legitimate ways of making these things happen, I'm all for it. But when you really ask some of these candidates with their policies and how are they going to make it happen, it's kind of unreasonable. It's a bit nonsensical, and there's no real legitimate answers with a lot of these. But getting back to the Trump impeachment, I've gone way off track. Do I think he's going to get impeached? No. I think this is more fluff from the Democratic side. But here's my thing, though. Here's what I say. Here's the big fear. And again, like I say, best case scenario to some of y'all be the worst case scenario. What if the Democrats were successful with the impeachment hearings? I don't think people would rally behind Pence. And then I think what you have is people are going to go with what they're most familiar with. And you have somebody like Hillary trying to slide in or whatever. You may have a crazy random upset, and then you have to deal with all of these issues unexpectedly. And I think everything takes a turn for the worse. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
It's Belle, and I got to be first.
Miss Belle, the number one. Belle has wrong. How are you doing today, Miss Belle? What's on your mind?
I'm doing good. Ooh, you've had a litany of things for tonight, haven't you?
Yes, I'm all over the place this evening.
Yeah. We need to put you back in the pastor's robe so at least you chill out a little.
I'd really be sweating. I need my little my personal prayer cloth.
There you go. Oh, and we forgot, starts with a P. I can't remember. It's the Spanish one for pastor.
I'm not sure.
Somebody had said it in the den last night, and I was like, son of a gun. I'll have to tell him. Padre. That's what it was.
Okay,
That's what
okay.
I'm forgetting. Anyway, so, yeah. I think that they should definitely follow through with the impeachment hearings on Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Where, the thing is I believe this in life, is that sometimes people don't get caught for the things that they were really bad at, but it's other crap that's happened in their life that's finally caught up to them. And they might have got away with a ticket here and there, or they might have got away with this, the other thing, but when it finally, when as we all saw, when the bell finally rang, they had to be accountable for all of it. And sometimes it's going to come down harder than it should, but it's all those little infractions that you never get caught with. And this is what, hopefully, going through these hearings, they'll be able to address some of those things. Now, as much as I don't like it, because of the fact that it was all prior to his first inauguration, all of his bad behavior technically gets washed under the dam.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he's done it, it doesn't mean that they're ever going to be able to persecute him for it or hold him accountable for it. Some of the other things that are going on, too, is just I would like to see that this particular congressional, I don't know what you call it, landmine, because it's just taking far longer than it should. I hope that they, err on the side of caution. But the other thing is at this point, no actual sitting president has been dethroned during one of these kind of investigations.
Mm-hmm.
They've gotten sanctioned, they've gotten fined, but they've never actually been dethroned.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other question is, if they do dethrone him, do we really want Pence? And that's, if the devil you know, then the devil you don't want. Mm. And I do agree with you. Across the United States, we have all let standards drop. Now, there's a need to be flexible, but there's not a need to drop them so low that people can just walk over everything and not have any dividing line. I do believe the fact of people being treated humanely, whether you're gay or straight or white or black or Hispanic or Asian, whatever, those things, those human rights should be lowered for caring for other people. But I totally disagree with the fact of that man pushing the other guy having sex when he's not attracted to that type of person.
Yes.
And I honestly have a hard time with transgender for that way because there's a lack of honesty that comes from some of them, and I won't say all, when they're either dating or when they're in transition or when they're going through what they're going through because they're not who they ultimately want to be. And to pass that on into getting into a relationship, that's pretty fucked up. Plain and simple. You know, to start out any kind of situation of a relationship, whether it's a friendship or intimate, with a lie, yeah, it does not allow there to be trust in anything.
Yeah. Starts on a very weak foundation.
Absolutely. And that's not going to serve anybody to have a long-term relationship or to keep anybody together. You know? People do it all the time, you know? I'm not a prude. I'm just, like I have said many times before, I've had enough bad experiences and enough wisdom to not want to do shit again and get it really fucked up.
Yeah.
And one of the things I really, truly don't understand is people holding off until they're actually divorced or until the papers are actually dry or they've actually been a widow, you know, if they know that their person is in that state. Because the fact is that your life really is connected with somebody else until those bonds are broken. Yes, it's a piece of paper, but it's also more than that. And going from one pillar to post doesn't make a healthy situation. And y'all can say what you want to say about it, but I've seen it happen more often than not. It builds up more toxicity about people not being clear of one relationship before getting into another. And everybody is their own when it comes to that. I'm owning my own shit with that, but I truly understand why you have to be cleared from one for another if you want healthy. And when it comes to the presidency, I think we need a clean cut and a fresh face. Now, I haven't seen anything in the lineup at this point that's worth voting for. But we've got 10 months for that to happen.
So I have a question. So how would you feel if all of a sudden, you know, Hillary jumps into the race and becomes a front runner? Would that not make you feel, or would that not make you question what's going on, you know, in the Democratic Party? Let me not make it a leading question. How would that make you feel if Hillary jumped into the case and she was a front runner?
I don't know. Honestly, I would definitely have to listen to what her reasons for even getting in at this stage of the game were. Do I like her more than Trump? Business-wise, no. Politically, yes. That's as honest answer as I can get. When it comes to business, she really fucks shit up. He's been broke, been back, been broke again, and back. So financially, as a businessman, he can hold his weight in the water. Politically, she's been around the elitists of Washington for so long that she's part of the good old boys club. So she knows that part of it, how to do the dance and how to be politically persuasive. And as bad as her shit was with her husband, she still kept it on the down low as she could. Whereas Trump's put his personal life and his mistakes all in the business and the straight, which doesn't make great for a figurehead. So it's half dozen one, half dozen another. Like I said, politics-wise, she's tried to do good things, but business-wise, she's really screwed up on a lot of things. Her and her husband were part of the big NAFTA thing. They both said it. They both even owned up to the fact that they made huge mistakes getting that started. You know, and that's worldwide economic problems that we had because of that. And so, as much as I hate to give credit, Trump is actually one of the ones that's helped clean part of that up. But it came off the desk of the president before him, so you can't It's not. It's an ongoing situation. And like I said before, as Trump goes out, the next president coming in is going to get the work that he didn't do on his desk, as Trump got the work from the last president, which was Obama. You know? I honestly don't know how I feel about Hillary. I'm not happy with Trump. Personally, as far as business-wise, he's done a lot of good things, actually. And I do not want to see Pence, and he is way too conservative. As far as a human being, he's probably not a bad person. His politics and his personal agenda is so far, what's the word I want? Patriarchal, that it's just kind of disgusting. And it's one thing to have a personal agenda. It's another thing to put your personal agenda on the whole country.
So you don't agree with Pence? I think Pence is a stand-up guy. He doesn't eat out with other women, because Mrs. Pence said so. He loves his wife and his family. You don't like that?
I think that he's wholesome. I think that he's probably a very good person. What I have an issue with is by him being so forthright on right to live and not a woman not being able to choose for her own body. Because there's more than one reason to have an abortion. Medical reasons is number one. Somebody being raped is number two, and not wanting to carry that child. And if you knew that your partner could live or die by the fact of having a child or not having a child, what would you choose?
Oh, well.
And by not having that as an option, women end up going to backroom abortion clinics.
Well, that's tough.
And there were a lot of women in the 1920s and 30s that were killed from bad abortions until it gets stabilized. Absolutely. Now, I'm not saying you should be using as birth control, because that's lunatic crap. However, if there is an actual need for that to happen, yeah. I definitely believe in adoption. Open or closed, depending on what the parents go. And as somebody who's birthed two children, I kind of have a right to speak on this. And this is one of the few places that I don't think men completely have a right. As being a father of a child, yes, you have that right. But as far as every other woman, no, you don't. Because like we've all said, when we come into somebody's life, we don't know where their story has already gone.
That's true. I got one question for you. And then
sure.
I'm going to take some more calls here in just a second. But
sure.
So, if I'm riding on the bus, do you think that it is appropriate for me to give up my seat to a pregnant woman? Should I? I mean, if not someone I'm related to, affiliated with, should I, as a man, give up my seat to a pregnant woman?
I think that would go to how you were raised. And I believe that it's a parent's job to make that choice on how to teach their children to be, whether they choose to say, well, you know what, just sit there and don't do anything, or be courteous because they're going through a hard time. Honestly, did you know that the medical community considers pregnancy a temporary medical disability?
That's terrible. I hate.
Actually, it's not. It's not. Did you know that? I mean, there is a certain percentage of death that actually comes by natural way of giving birth to a child. I'm not saying use it as, oh, well, now it's a medical condition. What I'm saying is that there's a high enough risk with carrying a child that a woman can lose. There's a percentage that a woman could lose her life. It doesn't make them permanently handicapped, obviously not. But what it does is it says, hey, for this amount of time while they're gestational with this baby, there needs to be caution played with that. This is why they're not supposed to smoke, they're not supposed to drink, they're not supposed to do a lot of things.
Yeah, they're not supposed to get the best parking spots at the damn grocery store either. I hate that shit.
I kind of understand that. When I was 9 months pregnant with my son and I was 2 weeks overdue, I took a bus around town to get my shopping done. So I totally understand this particular situation. Now, I agree that you don't like it, but the fact is that women are the only vessels other than, I don't know. We're the only vessels that can carry children at this point. Until they found another AI womb.
Oh, they're working on it.
Where what does it? Oh, they've been working on it. I have no doubt about that. What is that? The red pill or the blue pill? Is that where we're going?
No, it's a pill. I'm sure it's. I don't want to take any pills. Who knows what's in them? But now, what is red pill is red pill is the wake up. The blue pill is the sleep pill, right?
You know what? I never figured it out. I just knew it was red and blue. And from the Matrix, I just never understood what they were actually. Either one was for.
Okay.
But I've definitely way gone over my 10 minutes tonight. So on that note, it's going to be a great week. We're going to have good calls tonight, and you have a good night.
All right, Ms. Bell, I appreciate you calling in, getting the party started. The bell has rung. Class is in session.
All right. Thanks, Honcho.
Good evening. Speaking about red pills and blue pills, though, those little gas station red pills keep your dick hard like Rottweiler. Some of y'all may know where that's from. Some of y'all may not know where that's from. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening? Hello, hello. Testing.
I have some really disturbing news. Do you have a second to talk?
Man, I'm around, man.
I just talked to the doctor, and your test came back. You have no personality. 0. It came back completely negative. You may have never had one. You probably never had one. Every chick you've ever dated in your 57 years life, they all fused into one chick named Jabasha. Just so that they can all tell you.
What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Okay, hey, my Honcho, how you doing?
Hey, Miss Grace. How are you doing this evening, Miss Grace? It's always good to hear from Miss Grace.
Good. Just had to wake back up. But first, I want to thank John New York for the pistachios, my Italian stallion.
Okay.
That was really sweet. Okay. Trump being elected has driven people insane. And I don't know if they were insane before or did they become insane because he became president and they lost and they're still mad and they're sore losers. Seriously. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, they say. They have been investigating this man since the beginning. They were saying that they were going to impeach this man before he even got in. So I think the investigations need to stop. They need to stop wasting our time and wasting our money. Enough is enough. The other thing is, I'm not going to stay on here long because I'm still kind of tired. There are distinct characteristics between the two sides, the left and the right. Okay? And all you got to do, and there's more. I can just run off a few of them right now. The gays, about this transgender and all this other stuff they're doing, what side wants it? Is it the left or the right?
Oh, it's definitely the left side.
Okay. What side wants illegal immigration and open borders? The left or the right?
I would definitely, to y'all it's on the right, but definitely the left.
That's right. The ones that are attacking Christianity, again, the left. Giving immigrants health benefits when Americans don't even have it, the left. Abortions, killing babies full term, the left. I mean, they can kill babies 9 months, 2 minutes before they're born. Okay? Getting rid of prayer in school, the left. Getting rid of guns, the left. Who wants the handout? The left. Okay? And there's some other physical and phenotypes in them. If you sit and look at the two sides, which ones exercise more, the left or the right?
Oh man, I'm gonna say the right, because the left. I've seen some people at some of these rallies and some of these what is it, these stand-ins, or where they're blocking traffic, and the left is much more accepting of certain health myths, I will say.
That's right, and we have to pay for that, and that's one of the high costs of health care, is because people make poor decisions. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous now for anybody to say that racism is keeping them fat or making them fat. No, bitch, you're fat because some of it can be hereditary, but we can all do something we can do better. As a black person, we know that we have no business sitting on the porch sucking down on ham hock. But our people still do it. Okay? Who makes better eating choices? The left or the right? The right. Who rewards bad behavior? The left. Who provides safe houses for people to shoot drugs in? The left. So there's distinct characteristics between the two. It's gotten to the point that I never thought that I would see this, but you could almost look at someone or listen to talk for a minute, and you know what side that they're going to be in. And you know what? And Honcho, even talking to the other side, the left, it's almost a waste of breath. It's almost a waste of time. You know what I mean? It's like they're insane. You know what I mean? They come up with disclaimers. You know what I mean? Their breathing is off. Their eyeballs go round and round. They have a certain look. They are freaking insane. And I say that the devil is in them. You know what I mean? And when people come up with disclaimers and say all kind of shit, they don't have me fooled at all. It's bullshit. And then if you're too right and you do anything too correctly, they become angry and bitter and screaming and yelling. They're just unreasonable people. It disappoints me that even people that have been around me and family members, once Trump got in, they too, I saw their insanity. And I was never for people with the left don't want to be bothered with the people of the right. I've gotten to the point that when I see certain characteristics in people, I back up. You mean because they're insane? You mean and what has Trump done so wrong? They don't want to give this man any credit for anything. He's done a lot of good things. Is he perfect? Is he an angel? Absolutely not. But who can they find better to help save this country or this world than a Trump? He's the man. Whether they like it or not, they don't want to hear it, but he's the man to do it. You mean anything that Obama did, they don't want to say anything he did was wrong. They just want to criticize Trump, and make excuses for criticizing Trump. Miss me with bullshit. Yeah, seriously. And I'm just going to get up on that note because it's like ridiculous. I just can't even stand it anymore.
Okay. Well, Miss Grace, as always, I love it when you call in and share your views and share your thoughts. So I appreciate you taking the time to call in tonight.
Okay, thanks, Sam. Have a good one.
Have a good evening. I love it. Fire this thing up. I think we got a good call coming in. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
It's Dan, man.
Dan, the motherfucking man. I know. What's the motherfucking deal, Dan? What's on your mind? How are you feeling about tonight's topic, Dan?
Man, I like you hitting all these topics, man. I love it. In terms of Trump's impeachment, man, I honestly, I think this is just another grab by the Democrats to, I guess, maybe shake him or, I don't know. I don't think it's really going to go anywhere because if I'm correct, Literally, when people are talking about you did something illegal with the Ukraine, he's like, "Here's the transcripts. Okay, you can read them. There you go. I don't care." And when I saw it, I was like, I don't think there's much to worry about. They're just doing this whole thing, and CNN is, of course, the talking piece of the Democratic Party, just like Fox News is the talking point of the Republican Party. Well, they're talking heads. So I don't give anyone any credit. I know this network goes for them, that network goes for them. I'd like purely independent media. That'd be great. Not one slant. That'd be great. I found some sometimes, but like the Young Turks, I thought they were like independent, but they're left leaning. Talking points is clearly in the open now. They were losing their shit when Trump got elected. It was fucking hilarious. There's videos on YouTube about it, of course. But I don't think Trump has much to worry about, honestly. But in terms of this whole right versus left thing, and you mentioned the Taco Bell man. I think it was the Taco Bell. I looked at the report when you were mentioning it earlier. Florida man, he bitch, whatever. It's just like you can look totally like a guy and claim you think you're a woman, or you feel that you were born a woman, and they're like supposed to go easy on you. Like that Jessica Yanov in Canada. Yo, that nigga's a dude, bro. That's a fat dude. And apparently he sued a oh my bad.
Go ahead.
This is how insane. This dude sued a beauty salon that specifies in females, waxing and things like that, Brazilians, whatever they do. Sued them because they wouldn't wax his taint and his throat and all that shit. I think they went out of business. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. But so you got these people put out of business because no one wanted to wax your fat, sweaty balls. This is ridiculous. And apparently this same dude tried to organize this is how fucked up it is. Now that's funny, but this is tragic right here. He tried to organize a little swim meet or whatever, like a little get together for kids.
Yeah.
Only young girls, like 12 and under, and like they didn't have to wear their tops and stuff like that. And he said it was misunderstood. Bro, you need to be in prison, my G.
Yeah.
But Canada's on some weak bullshit. You got that blackface, the first black prime minister, whatever his name is. Justin Trudeau, the first black prime minister. Yeah, Trudeau, the first black prime minister, all that blackface and shit. See, the thing about that is this is what the left's really good at, and I'm not completely right-leaning, okay? There's certain things like that abortion thing you mentioned. In the end of the day, that's a woman's body. She has to make that decision. I think the option should be open because in cases of rape or incest or there's some serious deformities that's going to make this child's life to live in hell, you might want to go that route. At the end of the day, even though I might be the father, it's the woman who's going to hold that child for 9 months or however long. So I think there needs to be consideration for that. But that's just my opinion on that. But back to Justin Trudeau's black ass. This dude, and that's one thing if like you were like 16 in the 60s and you did that back when we didn't have all this race dialogue. But this was in the 90s and 2000s. He did shit 3 times as a fucking adult. And you notice something, right? He got reelected just now, back to prime minister. Right before that, he had a little photo op and little talk point with Barack Obama. So, he's trying to win that Negro vote, I guess, the colored vote in Canada, and it worked. So he got reelected. So Canada, good luck, man. Sorry about that. Because here's the thing about these liberals, and I'm in California. This is like the liberal haven, and I've seen the results. They talk all this shit about wanting open borders, and they definitely want that. A lot of them do. You've heard these talking points. That Beto O'Rourke had the audacity, the unmitigated gall to say open the borders, make these people citizens immediately. People who don't want to coalesce with the American life, don't even bother learning English, don't have a card, but you're supposed to give these people free health care. But me, who served in the military for 8 years, I'm going to lose the health care I had when I got the goddamn military. And I got to get health care somewhere else. But you give this motherfucker, it's infuriating. I busted my ass for 8 years, and you can get this motherfucker nothing because he walked. Congratulations, motherfucker. Welcome to America. That shit's infuriating for starters right there. Damn, man, I don't know, bro. I kind of went blank. I was going to go on a rant, but I don't know what the hell I was talking about.
Hey, I'm here for it, man. Whatever's on your mind, I'm here for it, man.
Yeah, man.
But I think that is crazy because, like you said, especially with the military, because you see a lot of stories and things about veterans coming home and especially when you have to deal with certain issues, people getting out of the military and having certain issues to deal with. I don't think that. I think that needs to be the first priority, especially if we're tackling homelessness and things of that nature. I don't think there should be homeless veterans. I don't think that veterans should have to struggle to deal with health care, to get health care, things like that. These are people who went out and risked their lives for the country. The least that you could do is give that service back. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's an issue.
I mean, yeah, you're right, man. See, the thing is, like, I'm not looking for a handout, though, you know. And a lot of, I guess, military people have that sort of pride, like, I'll take care of it. I took care of it for, I don't know, 5, 10, 20 years, 30 years, some of these dudes. I'm like, I need to get a new job, man. But, I mean, I don't blame them. Once you're set in the way of life, it is what it is. Me, I just hated my job, and I got to do something different, you know what I'm saying? So the military won't let me do that. I'll do it my goddamn self. Thank you for helping me for the GI Bill, all that shit, but I'm going to do it myself. So y'all have a good day. You know, and you have a right to critique the military. I'm not one of these blind-ass veterans who says, you talk shit about my flag? No, fuck that. You have the right to have a dialogue. You don't agree with the military? As many times I don't, and I'm in the goddamn military. That's perfectly acceptable, you know. Yeah, I think it should be a dialogue between the two groups. Now it's all this shouting match where Trump's calling these people out on their bullshit, then these people call him a racist and a sexist and stuff like that. And you know what? He might be. I mean, it's very possible. I mean, well, it's not very possible because some of these same black leaders, Al Sharpton, they were taking pictures with this They're taking pictures with this dude in the '90s. Yeah. All these rappers saying, "I'm the Black Trump." Jay-Z said he's the Black Trump, yes. But now he got elected. Oh no, this guy, he's terrible. He's so terrible. Jay-Z is a true sellout. Like Prepay said a while ago, and he called it. But anyway, back to a different subject. These liberals, and here's a story. Now, being in California, I see the drastic difference in like a liberal ran communities and cities. Like you'll have homeless people lining in the middle of the street. Then you have these businessmen walking past them with their headphones on, going to work, And it's like, but the cops, they can't put these people in jail. You know, they just shuffle them off somewhere else because the cops are told not to arrest them, I guess, because it's like impeding their their freedom. I don't know what the logic and rationality is, but down this West Coast from Seattle to San Diego, all you see is this big homeless problem. And it's not just because of the weather. I refuse to believe that. No, hell no. It's not just because of the weather. It's because they come here and they know they're not going to get it fucked with. It's just like these big migration portals. They go to these cities where, well, one thing, they know they're going to get a job because people will end up hiring them straight out of Home Depot or the Lowe's. Hey, to the Baja, $40, yeah, jump in the truck, shit like that. So American citizens to do that need to stop that shit. Stop giving these motherfuckers, you know, money to not be here in the first place. But then you also have these cities that said, we'll be sanctuary cities. Well, their city be sanctuary city, not the city that I'm talking about, like San Francisco. Like Trump called him out on that shit. He was like, yeah, why don't we just make these sanctuary cities your city, San Francisco and Seattle? They said, no, I don't want that. No, don't send them here. But keep them down there in San Diego, places like that. You know, let them just come in unfiltered. That's ridiculous. That's insane. It's a burden on a taxpayer, and that shit, it's not rational or logical. But yet, Beto O'Rourke wants to open up the borders. This is some of the most insane shit. And I'm gonna calm down because I'm getting real angry about that. But like I said, my last time I called in, if you want to know like what happens when you have a society that is basically, it's very peaceful, but when you throw in a bunch of people who don't care, who are from a different country, different culture, and they don't bother trying to immigrate and migrate to your culture and change themselves to your culture so they can succeed. Sweden. I mean, look at that. Like Sweden, like 30, 40 years ago, you ain't hear shit about Sweden. Right. I mean, there's nothing. Sweden's like one of the most nicest countries in the world. Yeah. Now, red capital of Europe. I wonder what happened in between the 40 years and now. Maybe just an immense influx of immigrants from, I think, Somalia, a lot of them. Definitely Syria, definitely a lot of them. And they're not like kids that are immigrating. They're not war-torn children. We're talking about like 30-some-year-old men who are in middle school and high school because they're not educated. Like, nah, bro, there's other ways around that. But see, we need to take a lesson from those countries because it's too late for them. They're done. It's too late. They've let in too many people, and they keep popping out kids. Pop. Look at France. Paris is a shithole. London has eclipsed New York from the 80s in terms of like knife crimes. I'm like, really? New York was a savage back in the 80s. Now London's doing that now in 2020. 20. That's ridiculous. And these liberal policies, open borders, and this LGBT thing. Look, I sympathize with anyone who has a hard life, and being gay or lesbian, I can imagine, or transgender, can make things harder. But some of the stuff y'all pushing is ridiculous. Like I said, HIV laws, because obviously, like, the gay community is affected the most by HIV. But y'all don't want people to know it. Y'all don't want to have to tell anybody that you're infected. That is ridiculous. Like, that's insane. Like DJ HIV, we were talking about a few days ago, that dirty motherfucker. Like, if people had more awareness of these, people's statuses, it wouldn't have gotten to that amount. Almost 700 women. It wouldn't have gotten that bad. If people actually, push for getting tested, things like that, it wouldn't have gotten to that point. But, that's just, that little reminds me, it's like y'all don't want to be responsible for anything. Y'all want to excuse everything, and including pedophilia, and I'm serious about that. I'm not making none of this shit up. There are people doing TED Talks about it. Some of these Antifa motherfuckers got them posters up saying, yeah, pedo bashing is bad.
Become age gap love and all this crazy stuff that they're pushing, and they're teaching it in one of them schools. What is it called? They called it not pedantry, something basically.
Pedestry?
Something like that. Basically, they were talking about it. They were talking about they were doing it in an educated way, talking about how we mentioned Rome the other day, how men would take on young boys, quote unquote, as apprentices. And that they would have relationships and stuff, and they were teaching this in the California schools. Some mothers actually went in like a PTA meeting or something, and they I guess in the sex ed class they were talking about it. So they went and recorded it and tried to get the woman to speak on it, and she was definitely struggling over her words to explain what exactly was going on. So that kind of lets you know something is questionable that's going on there. But this is what they're teaching the kids in schools.
Yo, man. Oh, hey, fuck all that. My kid's getting homeschooled. I don't care about the damn school board. You motherfuckers talking about... I don't have children, but yeah, if someone wants to say something like that, and I heard one of my nephews was being told that, I'm not even that kid's father. I'm going to that school raising fucking hell. I might have to burn that motherfucker down. You're not going to do that to any child, in my opinion. Especially someone I love. Y'all niggas crazy. No, we burning shit down. I'm going to show you some Rodney King type riots and shit, bro. Fuck that, man. Fuck that, bro. That's the reason to burn shit down. All right, fuck all this, no. That's infuriating. Oh, I got a quick story about the homeless situation and these liberal policies. Like, this is just the kind of environment it creates. So I was doing charity work one Saturday for the base I'm working at, basically doing park cleanup, stuff like that, like give back to the community, and all that stuff. I'm walking home. It's like about half a mile from my apartment, and I see this family. There's this nice little family. I could tell they weren't from San Diego because you kind of tell who's from here and who's not from here after a while. And they just walking down the street. I kind of nodded them. Hey, how y'all doing? I like to be, sociable. And all of a sudden, we all look to our left, or they're right, my left. We see this homeless dude. He gets up off this little park bench, takes shit in the middle of the street. 9 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, he takes a ropey shit in the middle of the street. He ain't white, dog. He ain't white, bro. Yeah, and he just walks off. And I look at them, and I say, welcome to San Diego. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I don't know.
That's fucking disgusting.
Welcome to San Diego, yeah. It's just open air shit, bro. And San Diego's not the worst. It's in the top 10 in terms of, like, cities where homelessness is just rampant.
Yeah.
But it's like low 10. It's low 10, bro. So it's not even touching the surface.
Ooh.
Bro, let me go ahead and stop hogging the line, man. Hey, look, good luck to Trump. I mean, I don't agree with everything this man does. I'm not one, like you said, Honcho, I ain't one of these blind Trump supporters, but he's fighting what it seems like logic and rationality, And he's pulling soldiers out of wars we don't need to be fighting. Need to be taking care of America first. Yeah, MAGA, fuck it. I mean, at this point, yeah, make America first. I believe you make America first again in terms of, like, taking care of the American worker, providing for the veterans. I mean, I guess, the military takes care of itself for the most part. Yeah. And rebuilding the American infrastructure, the economy, because we got to worry about China. China ain't playing, man. China don't give a fuck. If you look into the social credit score system that China has, that's a blatant violation of human rights, honestly. Yeah, but they don't. It's going to get passed over there. They don't give a shit. They never have given a shit.
No, they don't give a shit.
And we need to be careful about them taking over us, Or Russia. Russia don't play neither, man. That's like our two biggest issues right now, China and Russia, honestly. The Middle East, we need to get the hell out of there in the first place. I don't want anything else to do with that. I spent 18 months over there. I will never go back there. Nothing, ever, ever, ever. You can tell me Jesus Christ and 2 strippers are over there with $1 million. I ain't going there. Just send me a picture. I'm not going back. Fuck that. I ain't doing that, man. That was ratchet. I apologize.
It's all down.
But, man,
good, man.
Yeah, Honcho, I'm going to head off, man. I ain't trying to hog up the line, brother.
Good,
I hope you have a good night, man. I just want to call in, man. You know, man, good luck, bro. That's all I got to say.
All right, Dan, man, I appreciate your call, man. Thank you for calling.
Absolutely, sir.
All right, have a good evening.
Yeah.
You know, I'm waiting for some of the folks who's going to represent the left. Who's going to call in representing the left? What's the motherfucking deal? Who we have calling into the den this evening?
What's good? It's Mello. What's going on tonight?
Miss Mello, how are you doing this evening? What are your thoughts on the conversation tonight?
Oh, well, you know, everybody got some good points. My thoughts, you know, I'm not a political person, honestly. I lost my vigor for politics a while back because I realized it's all just the same shit, same people making the same plan to keep us in the same situations. It's as if, you know, it seems like the system was designed just for that, that's quote-unquote 1%. And it's just, you know, we go out here and we vote on which way of slavery we want to continue for the next 8 years or 4 years or whatever. I think that if politics, if the government was really for the people, there would be no left and right. It would just be fair, period, point blank. There wouldn't be, you know, if just because I feel a certain way or I think this should be a part of society, I'm only going to go with that because I'm a lefty or a righty or a middle or whatever. It's all about what's fair, like what's right. What's right for the people of America that's building this country. You know, and then I heard the last guy mention something. I briefly heard what he said, but I know it has something to do about the credit system or something to that effect. And I'm like, here we got a country that we live in that's in so much debt. And look how it treats its people here that's in debt. You get what I'm saying? People lose their homes for things, for healthcare reasons, because they get sick with cancer and then they can't afford their homes. So now they don't have anywhere to live. Their children don't have anywhere. They're not eating. A lot of homelessness, people are hungry and homeless due to medical problems. Like, you can't even control yourself. You know what I mean? And if the system was really about making America great again, quote unquote, we could do just that. It's really that simple. But because there are greedy people, have capitalism that we live in, and then on top of it, people telling you how you should think. I mean, every time I look up at my TV screen and I see this dude who said, and then got this big caption, Florida woman, this picture you got of here has me cracked up. I'm looking at this dude like, I don't see nothing feminine about this dude at all. So, but yeah, because society says his name is Mia, we got to say he a woman, right?
Exactly.
It's funny. I'm a little high, so.
Oh, why hit that shit 2 times for your boy? I've been sober for a while, so you know. But I still support the cause.
But on some real, Honcho, really, I guess maybe it's just the way I'm set up. I don't get involved with this politics. You all know Trump shouldn't even been president, let alone impeached. I mean, he had issues in from the door. And how you want to get rid of a whole bunch of people that are not from this country, but you married to one? What type of shit is that? If anybody should have got the country, she should have been the first person on the damn plane. Like I'm saying, I don't understand it.
But I mean, but in illegal, I mean, isn't that the right though to being American? Like, say, if I want to go to Jamaica and find me a big booty whiner and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to make her American. I'm going to make her my wife. Do it. I mean, what's the difference as opposed to somebody coming in illegally, just with no connections, no ties?
Well, that's a beautiful thing. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to be president and come out here and say, oh, because you're from Mexico, you need to go back to Mexico, but your wife is from a different country and you ain't telling her the same thing, where is fair in that? You get what I'm saying? Where is, how can you do that to somebody? Oh, you from Mexico, got to go back home. My wife from Hungary. I don't know where the hell she's from, but my wife from Hungary, but she need to go back to her country? But you telling other people to go back to theirs? It's just not right, you know? But at the same, only one thing I do think about sometimes that kind of like irks my nerves is the fact that we have a lot of people here that weren't born here, weren't citizens, and even if they weren't, the fact that they get all these government programs, and the people here who are born here, who are Americans, don't get that same love. Get what I'm saying? There was a time when I was out of work. There was a major layoff at a company I worked at, and when I went to go try and get food stamps, they told me I made too much money on unemployment to get money for food. I'm like, what is $130 doing for me? The system is jacked up. And again, it's only designed for the rich. It's definitely not designed for the poor people. It's not designed for the veterans who go out and, you know, risk their lives over in other countries for fake wars. We all know it's fake. They only do those just to get more money, to pump more money through the system. So it's just like all of it is just lie. It's based on lies and in a systematic way of living. And I can't believe we have all these people in the world and we don't fight like we should for the right. We just fall back. And that seems like with a lot of things, you know, we just fall back and let it be. And we think about and not vote, or I won't say vote the right people in, because that's a whole nother story. But I don't know. That's just my 5 cents.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. And like I said, I can see your perspective, and that's why I say even I agree with it. There are people who can be doing relatively well for themselves, maybe not be rich, maybe not be poor. You can call it middle class or upper, lower middle, however you want to call it, and can go through a traumatic event where they suffer from a life-threatening illness or go through, you know, an accident. It could be who knows what, and you know they're unable to work, they're unable to be covered, and they suffer and they lose it all. You know, we've seen those stories, or insurance doesn't cover certain things, and we've seen those stories. And that's why I mentioned earlier that I'm not necessarily opposed to the idea of like a universal health care, but the thing is, how do you pay for it, and who has a legitimate plan to where you can maintain top quality, you know, doctors and things like that? Because again, once you start getting the government involved and stuff like that, then it's you start seeing people putting limits on what you can earn, and that's something I'm vehemently opposed to. I think that the effort that you put out in this world is what you should be able to earn. Because you see a lot of these other countries that are under these type of systems, the doctors have caps. They have caps on the amount of money that they can make. Some of them have caps on the amount of patients that they can see, so you really don't have that choice and stuff like that. Because you know, maybe there's the good doctor you want to go to. You know what he gets, or you may end up under a universal system. You may end up going to the doctor like the mom of the little kid, and she's offering your kid, you know, puberty blockers or some shit. I mean, that's my issue. Like I think because there's so many political differences, there's so many just ideological differences. Like
I got a question.
Go ahead.
So I think about like when anybody goes into any field of work. Mm-hmm. What percentage of that do you think people go into a type of work, for instance, a doctor or a nurse? Do you think they go into it for the money, or do they actually go into it for helping people? I'm not, that's just a question to you, because then I have a statement to make after that.
I would say it's probably 50-50. I think some people go, where the money is. Some people, if if you're an intelligent person and you can deal with the rigorous amount of hours that you have to put in to become a doctor, I think people know that you can sustain a very healthy living. I think some people do it. Some people are forced into it. May not be for the money. It may just be for the reputation. I know certain cultures push certain kids to be doctors, lawyers, or businessmen or whatever it is, because that's what they almost were groomed from youth to do. And then certain people do it, like I say, because they go into it wanting to help people. And I've known a couple of people in the medical profession, and that they go into it wanting to help people, but then they realize, how things are set up and how things really are. And some of them feel, or some of them say they feel kind of helpless because they can't help more. Some of them, say some of them get frustrated with patients and things because, human nature is people don't want to do the things to make themselves healthier. So, I think it's just so many various opinions that I can't really give you a straight up answer. I don't want to be super vague. But I've talked to people and they've said a lot of different answers, so I would just say 50-50.
Okay. Well, I guess I just think maybe, I won't say maybe, in a perfect world, which we don't have, but in a perfect world, when people did things for other people, if somebody was sick and you helped them, it wasn't about what you got out of it financially. It was more about what you got out of it as a human being. I think the way that you look at, or anybody would look at the picture, would be a lot different. We know that's not the case because we have a monetary system where you need that to survive out here. You need money to get from point A to point B, to be content, to be able to survive is all on money. But I am starting to see a lot of things, just, I guess, for me personally, that when I go do things, for instance, like buying socks and stuff, I just, got some socks and toothpaste and things together for a home. Like, there's a group of homeless people that's under a live at. And every year I go out there and hand out socks and toothpaste and toothbrushes, and I realize that when I'm in need, I always have something always comes through for me, because I'm not doing that for accolade. I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do for people who don't have it. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like there are times in life where you do things from your heart and you see the karma from that through your everyday process. So I guess that's really all I
But I have a question. How much of it do you think, though, has to do, and this may sound awkward, has to do with maybe population, and this is why the monetary system is the way it is? Because maybe in a small village, I can trade my service for yours, because I'm only going to, say if I am the medical practitioner for a small village of, 30, 40, 50 people, something you can handle. You meant, okay, well, hey, you're going to be the person who brings me food, or you're going to offer me a certain service. We can exchange these services. But I think when you get into a situation, and especially when you're dealing with millions, especially if you're living in a major city, even if you live in a place with a couple of, 10, 20, 30,000 or whatever, and it, to me, money becomes necessary. I can't exchange me taking care of thousands or hundreds of people, because either I'm going to have too many people trying to give me food for too many. And so the money things becomes necessary. But then if I'm working harder and I'm putting in this work, this is where I think the capitalism and all this stuff comes in, where people don't like it so much, but it kind of is it's almost a natural thing. And I think people give it a bad rap, but in reality, it's a beautiful thing. Because I say, look at, what is it? Money is a promissory note. To me, money is a promise. Okay. And so the more work you put in, the more promises you get paid, if you will. It may sound crazy, but this is just how I view it sometimes. So I think the people who put in more work end up getting more. And I agree with you about, not doing it for accolades. There's a lot of things that I do I don't ever talk about, because again, if it's genuine, you do it. You don't go to, man, I went over here and I did, this and I did that, and let me put this on the gram. Look at me, I'm throwing, like, to me, that's whack. That's dumb shit. But what I'm saying is just that if you're that kind of person, if it's in you, if it's in your character, you do that. But again, like I said, what happened?
You were saying something about the population.
But yeah, but I'm saying, and I think that's what happens when you live in an area like this, because you still see some of those, what do you want to call them, indigenous or small tribes, where they don't have the issues that we have because it's small numbers. They can still do those things. Well, when that opportunity comes with money, well, hey, you see nice things. You see people who, again, put in work and they develop their skills. They create nicer things, and then that's where you establish value. Again, I'm not an economics expert, but we're getting into it. So when these opportunities, I don't see fault with money being a thing. I know some people shouldn't have this much money, but we talked about this earlier. Like, again, you say people shouldn't have this much money, but everybody got an iPhone. So whoever made the iPhone shouldn't have $1 billion if 1 billion people have the phone. He made $1 off of however much he makes off each one. If that many people are being served by this creation, by this idea or whatever it is, then yes, this person deserves it because you've given a service, you've given something that is enhanced, or they feel like it's enhanced these people's lives. They deserve it, Again, like I said, I think there's perceptions that are misleading too in it, but again, I'm just making a real general statement. But I don't see the negatives in people having much money, having as much money as you want. I think that's a thing that should be embraced.
I think it's a negative either. I mean, if that's how things pan out perfectly, I mean, hey, it is what it is. But at the same point in time, like my mom always say to me, you make money, don't let it make you. Mm-hmm. So just because you're getting it, you have it, you want it, it's coming your way. However, still don't forget to be a human being at the end of the day. I guess that's just the gist of it. I definitely understand that people should be paid for their services. And like I said here, we need money to survive. You can't. There ain't no way, and that's why we see people homeless, because they don't have the funds. You get what I'm saying? So I understand that whole process. I guess it's just the whole human factor at the end of the day. Yeah, I guess. Okay. Hey, Honcho.
Well, I appreciate you calling in. And like I say, if you get back on, hit that 2 times for your boy. And I appreciate you calling in, Miss Mello, and sharing your thoughts.
I love it. I just want to say, you know what? I get ready to go to bed at night, and I'm 3 hours behind y'all, I think. So I'll be up till like 2 o'clock in the morning, knowing good and well I got to get up at 6 to go to work. Because I've been sitting up just watching it in and enjoying the conversation. I love what you're doing, brother, and I'm so happy that you invited me to come out and take a look at your page. I think that was a couple of years ago or a year or 2 ago. And I had been MIA. I wasn't on the internet for a while. I kind of like took a break from it, and I came back, and I'm just happy because all of you out there, that I come in and I see up here every night, make my night. So I thank you guys so much. Peace and light to all of y'all.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being here and being one of the Den folk and making this community what it is. So I appreciate you being a part of it.
Hollers.
Alrighty.
Night, Honcho. Thanks for letting me say my piece.
Alrighty.
Good night.
Good night. I love all the Den folk. I love you all, whether we agree, whether we disagree, and that's what y'all. Some of y'all are new and y'all are in here starting a ruckus, but y'all ain't calling in. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the Den this evening?
You know it's your boy Chili here.
Chill. How about them Astros, Chill? Well, I know we're going to deviate for a second. We're going to get on the top. But how about them Astros, Chill?
God damn, you read my fucking mind. That was the first exact thing I was going to say. Like, god damn, we won 3 straight in the fucking row, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, I was able to only watch a little bit of tonight's game, but I was there when Correa hit that 2-run home run, just smoked it. Boom. We finally, just real quick though, we're finally getting that offense back like it was in the regular season. That's what I was really hoping to. And the funny thing is, and I just saw this and I just read this, ever since Game 3, Bregman has worn the same exact shirt since they won Game 3, and they've won every single one. So a little superstitious in the dugout.
Yeah, he needs to sell whatever that shirt is, unless it's I'm sure somebody already selling it because he bought it. But it definitely needs to become a brand ambassador or something for whatever that shirt. I'm sure he'll sell 1 million of them in the Houston area.
And I mean, the Nationals, they're a good team, and I respect them a lot. And I feel, and you know that. And this is, I think I'm like one of the only people that notices this. But Bryce Harper was on the MLB The Show 19 baseball video game cover, and guess what? He was on the Nationals before he got traded to Philadelphia, and now the Nationals are in the World Series, and the Philadelphia Phillies are not in the playoffs.
That's crazy. That's almost like the Madden curse.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is now out with a knee injury. But I don't know. But anyway, let's just get to tonight's topic. First of all, I am a guy that values common sense, that values facts over feelings. And I'm not saying that feelings are necessarily a bad thing, because if you feel like something is right, and if you have evidence and you have reasoning to support your feelings and to support that your feelings are right, then I have no problem with that. But if your feelings are about things that are completely like outlandish, false, or just this cannot even be reasoned beyond with reality, then that's where I have a problem with it. And this is what the left is very, very identified with, is feelings and not facts. They don't want to accept the fact that Trump is the one has done a lot for the black community, and there is evidence. And the main one is that black unemployment rate is at its lowest ever. Hispanic unemployment has been at its lowest ever. And the left doesn't want to give Trump that credit. They want to try to give Obama credit for that. They really want to try to do that. And that is the one thing that's been the consistent theme: credit. They don't want to give him credit because he's a Republican that's been doing good things, and they're not the ones that are doing it. So what do you do if you don't like someone that's doing good things that you believe you should be doing? Just bash them, don't give them credit at all, and just start some bogus investigation that's going absolutely nowhere, while all you could be doing is focusing on America's problems. And they don't want to give him credit for pulling troops out of Syria, which I am glad that he did, because that was an endless war that was going to take a while for it to finish. And they don't want to now give him credit for finding the ISIS leader with the raid that happened 2 nights ago, because they're like, oh, he did this, but he didn't let he didn't let the heads of house know. Or I see why, because they would have disapproved of it, of trying to kill a terrorist leader, because I'm not saying they're terrorists, but they're kind of sort of maybe terrorist sympathizers. And the most famous ones are Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar. And with the socialism thing that they also try to do, that they know Trump so heavily opposes. Look, whoever doesn't learn from history is doomed to repeat it. Right. I've already talked about a lot why capitalism has already been proven to be the better way when it comes to economics. It's not perfect. I am not saying this. I'm just saying I prefer capitalism because it allows human nature to be taken into account. Rather than socialism, you're told what you can buy and what you can eat, what you can say. And I mean NYC is making it illegal to say illegal alien. If you're caught, you can be fined $2,500.
Fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. And it just blows my mind. Like, and in this whole impeachment process, they know they're not going to win, so they're going to try to cheat themselves to win. That's what this whole impeachment thing is all about. Is to allow themselves to win the easier way, because they know they ain't going to win.
Right.
I mean, Trump's approval rating just as recently is 52%. That's over half the country now. They don't like that.
I agree. I mean, and that's the thing that I think I'm most concerned about. Like I say, it's that if the slim chance that they do find a way to finesse the situation, then you kind of have a shortcut to the White House, because now you have to deal with whoever the Republican candidate is not having the chance to, market themselves to the people. You have all the Democratic candidates, that you're more than familiar with. I don't think any of them are necessarily even very much embraced by Democrats themselves. I've seen a lot of Democrats say, well, a lot of these candidates are weak. They don't support them. And I think that's my biggest concern. If somehow, some way that they were able to get Trump out of the White House, now I think you kind of throw things into a clusterfuck, because I think people naturally go with what they are most familiar with. And I think whoever's just the most popular Democrat running would end up winning.
It's probably gonna, and if that does happen, it's going to probably turn out to be Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
She's like, surprise, I'm back. And I'm going to make Joe Biden my vice president, if that can actually happen. Or whoever she's going to make her vice president. But, and one other thing, and this is one thing they really try to argue so hard against, is the Second Amendment. See, look, it's not about just guns. It is about the right to protect yourself, your family, and your property. That is from something that is going to cause harm to either of those. And I want to own a gun or two when I get old, when I get my own house, and when I have my own family. I'm going to own a gun. And if you ever try to break into my house, if you ever try to get to my wife or get to my kids, or try to do anything else that will harm me, my family, and my property, you're gonna get warned first. But if you keep going, you're gonna get shot at. The first one will be a warning shot, but the second one, I'm aiming for you if you keep on.
Man, fuck that warning shot. Shoot. You're not supposed to be here.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a warning shot first, and if you don't leave, then oh wow, should have thought of that before you decide to keep going. And I don't understand why these Democrats want to get rid of the right to protect yourself. And the reason why the Second Amendment was put there in the first place, because our founding fathers realized that in order for a tyrannical government to be taken down, its citizens had to be armed. And that's what exactly happened during the American Revolution. The citizens got armed, the militia, to be exact, got armed, which were citizens of the 13 colonies, and they fought back against a tyrannical government that was the British. We don't want it to happen. We don't want it to happen, but if it does, we're gonna fight for freedom and all that good stuff. And
I mean, to me, that I find it that odd that people don't seem bothered by, like I say, with the government taking away any of your rights. And again, but it's people generally who don't own guns or think guns are icky, and just think automatically, negative things, because again, what they don't come in contact with them, all they hear is the negative stories from them, and they think, well, if the government takes them all away, everything will be okay. There's a lot of people living in disillusion, and what I mean is, people don't realize the level of danger, especially if you are in a lower income community that you're living in every day. I mean, you just have been fortunate, most likely, that you have not become a victim, or you just been, avoiding, right place, wrong time, or whatever you want to call it. Again, and so I think people should be adequately protected. I think that people should be more informed about where they are, where they live, and how they're living. But again, I think people just think everything is, well, the government's going to protect me. Again, you see all these crimes, taking guns off the street. It's not like the criminal's going to say, hey, well, they're taking guns back, so let me just stop this life of crime and give my guns back. You make yourself an easy target, you know. So
Well, what's funny is that Chicago is one of the most violent, is probably the most violent city in the country. Yet they have some of the most strictest gun laws in the country. Coincidence? I think not. Because if bad guys are always going to find a way to get guns, no matter if there's strict gun control or if there's less gun control. Bad guys are always going to find a way to get guns. Always. That's why we need to always. That's why we should allow people to protect themselves, so that way they can protect themselves from the bad guys. I don't care if you don't agree with me or not. I like to sit down with people and have a conversation with them. And it's surprising. You sit down and have a conversation with someone that has a different political ideology than you. You actually find some common ground, and you're like, wow, this is nice. And then I don't like, if I see like someone that's Democrat, I'm not like, oh, I don't want to be friends with that person. I like to talk to them sometimes to see where they get their ideas from, to help me understand where they get their ideas from, and that it will build tolerance. And that's what ironically the left doesn't have. They don't tolerate. They have one of the most intolerant people you'll ever.
And like I said, I think it's, again, like I said, you have people, and I think it's when you talk about the edges, the far left, and you have some people, you would say, I won't say center left. I think you have, like you say, you have your moderates, can't say a centrist, or you have your far right. And I think most people are in the middle somewhere. I think most people are moderate and sensible, but you have a lot of people who are in charge of things who are fucking lunatics. And so I think that that's the issue that we have to resolve. And I think when you sit down with some of these people, again, with these issues, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to have legitimate discussions with you. They just want you to acquiesce to their beliefs. So, there's that.
I'm more for common sense than anything, because I think common sense is what will get us far. And if we don't have any of that, then how far are we actually going to go through, when it comes to mankind as a whole? And if you just want to keep shoving your beliefs at me, then that's when I don't want to be friends with you. Because if you're going to keep shoving your beliefs at me and try to force me to believe in that, then that's how I know you're not a respectable person. And that's what a lot of people are these days, on the left and the right. And that's what, I'm more right-leaning than left-leaning, but there are some things I do disagree with what Trump says. There are some things I will say for myself, he's not the best speaker in the world. But people got to admit, he has done some shit. He's done some good stuff for our country.
Like I said, I have no fault. Like I say, I'm not blatant, blind Trump lover. I'm not a radical Trump hater. Like I say, it is what it is. Don't give me this dash lane. Like I say, it just is what it is. Like I say, I can't blame somebody else for the problems that I'm having when it's not their fault. That's the thing that gets me, like I say, when it comes to Trump, is that people, everything's horrible because of Trump. So if you're older than 3 years old, Trump is not the reason you're fucking having problems in your life. He's a scapegoat. It's real simple to say he is, but people just want excuses, and I think that's what you get from a lot of people, is an excuse. Well, the reason why everything is wrong is because the changes he's enacted, yes, they have impacted a lot of people, but it's not, for most people, it hasn't been so dramatic that he's ruined your life. You've just been watching a lot of fucking TV and believe a bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, And then that's just kind of where I'm at with a lot of it. I think a lot of it, I thought TDS was a joke when I first heard about it, but I really believe that it is truly a real thing.
Yeah, and with this whole impeachment thing, this closed door stuff that Adam Schiff is doing, and it's really, really suspicious. Like, because there was a group of House Republicans that barged into that room they were doing the meeting at, and they said that when they walked in, the lights were off, and when they opened it, people started rushing around and started like hiding stuff, and then they turn on the lights and then try to act like nothing happened.
Oh, they were in there having a fucking orgy. They were doing some of that Democrat sex magic. That's what was going on there. I heard about that. A lot of that happened in Hillary's campaign, so there's that. But that's a bit. Let me get a couple more calls there. Till, anything else that's on your mind, man?
No, but just two more things. Go Astros. I know we're going to win this World Series. If we don't finish it in Game 6, we're definitely going to finish it in Game 7, but hopefully we can just end it quickly and easily, just to get this off our hand, just get it off their hands. And Bregman's the MVP of the league. For the postseason MVP, it'll be Jose Altuve. For the Rookie of the Year, Yordan Alvarez. Manager of the Year, AJ Hinch. Fuck the Yankees. They're fucking dicks. I don't like their fucking fan base. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, subscribe to the Den and subscribe to Soft Sports because it's because I told y'all to. All right.
All right, yes, you have some angry Yankee fans in the chat. They go get after you. But I appreciate the love too, man.
On a for real note, I respect the Yankees. I just don't like the assholes that are in the fan base.
Damn those Yankees.
Yeah. Damn.
All right. Appreciate you.
And fun fact though, this is the first decade since the 1910s they have not made a World Series.
Yeah, I think all of baseball can enjoy that.
Yep. But guess what? The bandwagons are also going to start coming to Houston. That's the problem right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it is what it is. Hey, more money for the franchise.
But yeah, anyway, Honcho, I'm gonna let other people get their calls in, and go Astros, go Texans, go Rockets, and again, subscribe to the Den, subscribe to South Sports, people.
All right, I appreciate it, Chill, man. Thank you for the call.
No problem. You have a good night, Honcho.
No, you too. Oh snap! I didn't realize. Okay. Here's the deal. Let's do this. Send me I know a couple of y'all want to get in on the line, and I know that at 12 it automatically shuts off. I didn't realize the time. Because I want to get some more calls in. So if you want me to, I will call back anybody who I may have missed who wants to get a call in. Just send a text message just text the line, just say call me, and I will call you back, and we will get some more calls in. Because I have to go through this whole process. I will definitely, Miss Cassie, I know that you have been wanting to get in. Send me a message, and I will definitely call you. I know Miss Cassie has been trying to get in, and I want to make sure that I do get her a call. All right. I got you. So make sure everybody sends a text message. I will make sure I get with you. And I'm gonna call Miss Cash. She gonna do me like Miss Mead be doing. Rise up. I'm gonna start rooting for the Yankees and shit. What are you talking about? Hold on. What the fuck is it talking about? Web phone is busy. What kind of nonsense is that? Hold on. I'll just do. What is this? All right, there we go. What the fuck? Hold on. What crazy shit is happening right now? The phone is busy. No fucking busy phone. What kind of bullshit? How's a fucking web phone, bitch? How's that even a thing? Might have to relog in real quick. Give me just a second. Shenanigans. I got you. Miss Cassie will be next on the list. I see so Leeson man up. Like I said, we'll get some calls, and like I said, we'll extend it in a little bit so we can get some of these calls. I know this is a very interesting conversation for some folks. I want to make sure that everybody wants to get a voice, gets to say, gets to speak their piece. I see I got you, Broderick. That's a bet. Let's do this like this. What the fuck is it talking about? This is fucking crazy. Somebody's busy. I switched fucking dilly dallies and everything. Hold on. This is pure shenaniganery right now. Okay, I don't know what's happening. Give me a second. Let me try to log all the way out of this shit. And coming back with it. We're going to get these calls. We will not be stopped. We will have these conversations. But in the meantime, don't trust anything Heidi says. Heidi is a double agent, maybe even a triple agent. She's very advanced in dishonest agentry. So be careful. Let me see what's going on. Let me see if I may have to undo but usually I'm allowed, it lets me call. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right. YOLO. Hello, hello. Hello, testing. Miss Cassie, are you there? Let me see what's going on here. I got the sound here. Let me make sure I got the sound here. Yeah, everything looks to be. All these things. All right. I don't know if you can hear me or not. If not, I'm gonna try calling right back and see, because I can't hear anything. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Let's try this again. Okay, you can hear me, but I wonder what it is. Why can I not hear? Let me see what's going on here. Let's see. Let me try something else. Let's see if we swap this up. I don't know why it's not. What have I done here that is causing issues? I don't know. I can't hear anything. This is terrible. This is very awful. I don't know why it is not putting some respect on my name. All right, let's try. Let me try something here. Let me see if I can tweak some things and figure something out, because I cannot hear anything. I figure everything else should be good. Let me look at the properties here. No, she said she could hear me, but I don't know why I cannot Look at my settings here. Oh, let me check, see if this has anything to do with anything. No, that should be good. All of that is correct. Let me see what's going on. Let me see if I can just undo the fucking. Now I gotta give me a second. Let me see if I can undo the schedule and just open the line back up. I don't even know where it fucking is. I think it's in here. No, that's not it. Maybe it's here. I don't want to record no fucking calls. That's not it. See, that's the thing. I don't even know what the fuck how to. Well, I know. I just don't know where it's at. Okay. Oh, word, there's a VIP list? I didn't even know that was a thing. Oh, okay, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. We'll do it like this for now. Okay, yeah, that'll work. Cool, cool. All right, I'm gonna open up the line back up and see if this helps. Y'all be polite and let Miss Cassie call in if that's the case. Let me close this real quick and then I'm gonna open it back up. Let me save the changes, all that good shit. And then hopefully it will operate properly. Let me get everything back going. All right, Ms. Cassie, you want to try to call back in, see if if it works, you know, if you call in from your end. I don't know why. Like I said, I'm having some, it's something about the Yankees just not coming. I don't know what it is. I have no idea why it's not cooperating. All right, what's the motherfucking deal we have calling in to the den this evening?
Yo, can you hear me, Honcho?
Absolutely. Okay, I don't know why it wasn't working.
That's glorious. It's Kathy Case, how you been, man?
I'm doing great, Miss Cass. I'm doing good. I have no complaints. Been having some very interesting conversations this evening. Yeah, what's on your mind? How are you feeling about this topic tonight?
Well, we all know impeachment's really it's a scam essentially, created by the Democratic Party right now in the House of Representatives. I mean, this is all they got to bank on right now. They won't put in a real candidate like Tulsi Gabbard, so all they could do is let's start this fake impeachment process that they won't vote on because they know nobody really wants to vote on it because they're too scared to. So essentially what they're just trying to do is, well, we'll start an impeachment process that isn't even voted to begin, essentially, so that we can interview people and then Trump won't be allowed to subpoena anyone. Because that's what they're scared of. Let's be real now. We know Trump did some suspect shit when he was a businessman. We all know this.
Yeah.
But guess who he was doing it alongside? Them motherfuckers in Congress, bro. They all know dirt on each other. The last thing they want is Trump to subpoena people and bring up and stir the pot. That's all that is. They scared. And at the end of the day, we know Trump has done nothing but literally continuously rope-a-dope the media, rope-a-dope the far left. Look, he just gave his speech this morning talking about how, they got Yabba-dabba-doo, whatever his name was. how they killed him. And who was the first country that he thanked? He thanked Russia. So guess what? Motherfuckers in the media like, why did he mention Russia first? This is a conspiracy. Russian collusion. Yo, he does this shit just to fuck with them. And they go in on it every time. This motherfucker been rope-a-doping people hard since Ali, bro. And they just keep going in. They just keep going for it. They just, at this point, it's some hard trolling. I gotta respect it. That's why it's like, yeah, honestly, they say that Trump's stupid. And to an extent, he do got some foolish shit about him. But when he's making y'all look dumber than him, come on, man. Come on, man. How am I not gonna, like, yo, I'm a centrist. You know, I want the best each side has to offer.
Yeah.
But the Democrats ain't giving that shit to me.
Correct.
It's looking like Hillary again. Because I don't believe Biden's running. I believe that's all, that's just, he's a plant. He ain't even raising no money. He ain't raising no money. He started some, I don't know, Biden for Hispanics or something. And Trump swiped the domain from him for the website before he even claimed it. And Trump's people just started trolling him, talking about how shitty he is on his own domain. he don't even want to buy domains to his own site. You can't tell me that this dude's really running. He ain't running. Elizabeth Warren ain't gonna make it. She doesn't have a chance in hell. Yo, she. What happened to Pocahontas, bro? It didn't end well for her either. I'm just saying. Yo, who next, man? I don't know. Booty Judge, whatever the hell his name is.
Man, that's a whole other conversation. he ain't making it. Oh, yo, it's real. Honestly, the only one that deserves it is Tulsi Gabbard. I'm voting for Tulsi Gabbard. I don't agree with everything that she believes in. I am wholeheartedly for her foreign policy. I think she's a genius when it comes to that shit. When it comes to the home, I'm suspect on a lot of things, but I can support when someone has, you know, they have integrity. She's the only person I actually see with proven integrity. I don't even like Bernie Sanders. I think the dude's a fucking kook. He really is. But when Bernie was getting robbed, because let's be honest, he got robbed. He got robbed from Hillary Clinton. Yeah, mine's the whole party.
When Tulsi saw that shit, Tulsi was going to be the next fucking, she was like literally the golden girl for the Democrats in the future. She was going to have Nancy Pelosi's spot. And she walked away from that shit because she had integrity. She saw that the DNC was corrupt and she resigned and endorsed Bernie. They don't want that shit. That's why they're attacking her now too. And it's scary because the corporate Democrats, they falling apart and they know it. This is why Hillary basically said literally one of the most prestigious people that have served our country in every which way anybody could be expected to. They're a fucking Russian plant. It is so laughable how some people actually fall for this shit too. I can't help but laugh. It's just so stupid. It's so serious and it's so stupid that I can't really. If I don't laugh, it's like it's gonna make someone mad. I'm not gonna be driven to madness like a lot of these people out here are on Twitter.
I think it's a lot of crazy people on Twitter. I might be crazy too because I enjoy it so much, but it's a whole different ballgame. But that's my thing though with the Democratic Party, and that's what I found extremely interesting. That's when I kind of started looking at certain things differently too. I mean, it was blatantly obvious that Hillary, she funded the DNC, finagled Bernie out of what should have been his nomination. And nobody in the Democratic Party thought twice about it because it's game changing. First woman president. We want to get behind this wave. But and again, hey, I'm all for whoever deserves to be in, whoever the people vote for, whatever you want to call it. But she got her own nomination through shady maneuvers. The emails came out about that. That they were favoring it. They were downplaying what Bernie was doing, and people are still willing to go ahead and vote for her. People don't even question what's going on with these other lifelong government officials, these people who've been, leaders in the Democratic Party for forever. We can talk about Biden, and again, that's a different can of worms and what he's done, especially under the Clinton administration and things like that. But people blindly follow these things. And so, to sit here and say, oh, there's no way she's corrupt. But, I mean, you saw it. She's undermining your own party, much less anything else, and nobody thinks twice about it. So that's where I was like, okay. Because like I say, I was more probably around that. I wouldn't say I was just left-leaning. I really didn't give a shit about politics as much, but I started seeing it like, wow, that's kind of odd. Because I would talk about how, being here in Texas, I'd see Bernie stickers everywhere, see Trump stickers everywhere. I never, ever saw a Hillary sticker, period. I mean, in that whole election season, the months and months leading up to it, never, ever saw a Hillary sticker. And I just thought that was interesting, but somehow, she...
It really is. It really is. We know that realistically, when you look at it, the reason why we have Trump is a direct answer to people being sick of the corporate Democratic Party. They went with the populist vote. They didn't want Hillary. I didn't want Hillary. I voted third party because there was no way I was voting for any of them. One, I didn't know how Trump would do in the office. Who the fuck is going to take a shot on that? I couldn't take a shot on that. Hillary, I wasn't taking a shot on because this bitch wanted to have a no-fly zone over Syria. We go into war with Russia, period, on something like that. And I'm anti-war. I don't fuck with that shit. There was no way. I was like, you know what, man, all I could do, I voted Jill Stein. That's the closest thing I could figure to vote for. But, all I've seen since Trump is coming to office, since before he's coming to office, just people losing their fucking mind. The media is just constantly trying to make money on him by serving rage bait for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's all that shit is. And people listening to it, and even people are sick of it now, though.
I agree.
But, Trump is the answer to people just sick of the typical corporate fucking political cronies. They said, fuck it, go with Trump. He's a fucking... And it's like, I don't blame him. And now I'm voting for Trump. Fuck it. I'm sorry. You haven't proved to me that you have an answer. Because all these people on the stage, they need the answer. None of them. Except Tulsi. And even Tulsi, I don't completely agree with her, but I at least appreciate her integrity.
Yeah, and that's the thing that killed me because, like I say, when you watch the debates, it's not a whole lot of anything. It's a bunch of, we're going to give everybody this stuff, we're going to give everybody that stuff. We don't talk about how we're going to fund it. We're going to give things to everybody but, American people who are working and who are here. We're going to, we'll give you $1,000. We're going to give you free health care. We're going to give you free college. We're going to do all of these things, but yet we don't know how we're going to do it. Then it's, orange man bad, Trump is terrible, he's the worst, and then people rally behind it. But you're not saying like, hey, what is it that you're really bringing to the table, opposed to telling your base what they already believe, which is you think Trump's a terrible person. Okay, cool. So what are you doing that's different from the next candidate up there? And none of them have anything to say. Cory Booker wants you to drink the Kool-Aid. He doesn't know the flavor. There's no. That's what I'm saying. It's no nothing.
The fact is, what the Democratic Party seems to be running on is open borders, essentially no country, and a welfare state. In statistics, in every aspect, that it doesn't work. It doesn't. How are you gonna have a welfare state and let any motherfucker come in here that want to? It's laughable how stupid that shit is. And it's like, people say, they just going that far because they need to get the far left vote. And it's just like, I don't care what they strategically trying to do. They really talking like they believe in this shit. I don't know. No, I'm not voting for you, period. Come on, man, you gotta come to the table with some realistic ideas. I fucks with Yang a little bit. I don't agree with everything that he says. He wants Medicare for all as well, and that shit is kind of hilarious to me, but at least he's trying to bring something to the table. He ain't gonna make it either.
I agree.
We're looking at someone jumping in. It's probably gonna be Hillary again. I don't know if they could beg Michelle Obama to run.
I'm pretty sure some people have reached out.
She says she don't want to do that shit. So I don't think it's gonna happen. But I mean, to me, I'm just looking at people that have a chance. Because Biden ain't got a chance. Yo, not to be rude or anything, Biden ain't gonna make that fucking campaign trail. Fucking Hillary is falling all over the place. Fucking Biden's eyes will fucking explode and he'll start bleeding out. He'll fall over and it's over.
Yeah, we already know what's happening with Bernie. Bernie's tapping out before he's even getting there. It's a bad situation, you know. And again,
Bernie is over.
Yeah.
How the fuck do people still go over? Dude had a heart attack. They were trying to downplay it at first, but his doctor came out and said, yeah, he had a heart attack. And the dude was arguing with me over that on PlayStation. It's just like, he had a fucking heart attack. Literally, his doctor and his campaign staff eventually admitted to that shit. What the fuck else is there to discuss? It's people like this. Honestly, man, it's like, I can't be debating with a lot of people no more because, unfortunately, they just get their sources of information from some shady places, from legitimate conspiracy websites. Because, like, yo, I had a friend. This dude want to start arguing with me every day. And I'm the type of person, we can argue, and I'm going to let it go. Because I'm not that type of person to just hold grudges and shit. I'll be arguing with people all the time, and after that, it's over. We know we playing games, whatever. But this dude wanted to argue with me every day. He got that Trump derangement syndrome times 10. And one day I asked him, it's hilarious how this went down. I asked him, I'm like, yo, where do you get your sources of news? I was curious. And he said CNN. And I was like, is there anything else? And he kind of thought for a second. He's like, Yahoo News. Because he knows how stupid CNN is. And you sitting there listening to them. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. And guess what? Before, because I was going to tell him, I was like, this is, like, in my mind, I was like, this is exactly what I suspected. You just listen to CNN, you get your talking points from them. Like, at that point, I was going to tell him, no, I can't debate with you no more. You told me where you get your news from, and that's it? Me, I'm on the internet. I'm looking at YouTube videos. I'm open to everything and everything. I do watch CNN here and there, not that much. I just, I'll jump in to see what's up, like I do at Fox News and MSNBC. Everywhere. I want to be well-rounded. I want to get everyone's opinion. This dude only goes to CNN. And I was going to tell him, not for nothing, I can't debate you no more. You get your news from CNN, that's it. They dealing with fucking conspiracy, Trump, orange man down. It's like, fuck out of here. But the hilarious thing was, he stopped coming to play video games with us on PlayStation.
So
and he fucking messaged me. He messaged me on Facebook and just said, yes, I had to sell my PlayStation because, my wife needed to get her engagement ring fixed. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Good luck with that. I'm talking to him since.
That's tough. That's a tough situation to be in. He should probably vote for Yang. There's that. Someone asked, what is a news source that you trust?
I really fuck with Tim Pool. I really like him because he's left, but he just talks straight news. Like he gives it to people straight. He'll just be like, well, some people think this, some people think that. And it's just like, okay, I can get some sort of knowledge from that. I fucks with him. I don't really watch the TV news with any level of credibility whatsoever. I don't listen to Twitter. A lot of information I get are from YouTubers. I listen to people talk about small news, like, I love to watch people dunk on the Young Turks. I will watch any video where you're dunking on the Young Turks because they're so stupid. I really fuck with Atheism is Unstoppable. That dude's hilarious. He be dunking on him hard. And I listen to people I don't even agree with like that.
Yeah,
I want to get their perspective.
Yeah, and I agree. Like I said, that's kind of a thing. Like I said, I think there's nothing wrong with, because big media organizations have an agenda. They when you're marketing, there's a lot of market research that goes in. Okay, what do people want to hear? What do they care about? What's going to get the attention? We have to sell ratings. We have to push an agenda because we have to sell ads. And so, again, they're going to go for these stories that are going to attract that same group. But you see the numbers. I mean, the numbers are lying to you that CNN has been in decline for a couple of years now. And I think a lot of people, even a lot of Democrats, got tired of the, again, the whole Trump train thing. And you see a lot of these individuals that are almost raking in better numbers because they're giving the information that people want to hear, a more independent voice compared to being held under the thumb of
answer
ads.
to corporate.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, they're getting pummeled by YouTube for talking about news.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting pummeled. YouTube has went from being about the creator to just pushing the corporate Fox News, CNN, and pushing those because it's safe.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to give people a voice out here, man. They're suppressing it, if anything. It's like they demonetized everybody, which is their right to. But they're also just blatantly just getting rid of independent YouTube accounts simply just because they want to talk about politics. And politics is controversial.
Yes.
And it's kind of sad where MSNBC can monetize talking about people dying, and then YouTubers don't monetize it at all because they know how that shit kind of goes on YouTube. But they're getting their videos taken down. They're getting their channels taken down. It's like, it sucks. People out here want the truth. They don't want fucking. They don't want to believe in the corporate cog. They don't want to be held to that. That's why they voted for Trump in the first place. I can't fucking blame them.
Like I said,
YouTubers are fucking with like cognitive thought. Shit, I have so many freaking YouTube channels I freaking listen to.
Yeah, and that's what I say. Like I said, I can't blame anybody for that. Again, to have your own independent view, because again, you've had 1, 2, 3 main sources as far as if you're watching television where you're getting it, 2 out of 3 are leaning in one direction, and Fox News is what it is. Yes, they have an agenda to push too. So again, whatever you're getting in CNN, blatantly, like I said, you've seen the thing where the guy has already blatantly said that he wants to push the Trump impeachment narrative, and he wants to push the whole Russian thing, that because that's an agenda that they have. I mean, all you have to do is listen to any of these major stations, and you see that
anything that gets views.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, it's to the point where, especially a lot of these websites, they'll put out this insane story that Trump did this, and it'll be like something like really insane, and they'll put it out there knowing it's wrong. They don't care. They know it's wrong, but they figure it will get more traction than anything else they will publish that day. And then immediately in the morning the next day, they'll redact that story. And they've been caught multiple times doing this shit. And even the redaction gets more views than most of the shit that they're gonna fucking put out all day. So they do it just because it makes money. People want to be angry all the time.
Yes, there are. People do enjoy being angry. I think that people, you can use anger to justify why you're not in the position that you want to be in life. You can use anger to validate, whatever bullshit you got going on as, legitimate. But it is what it is. I do believe. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Ms. Castle?
I mean, so far with in terms of Trump impeachment, in terms of this whole Russian scandal and now Ukraine, we've only heard half the story so far. People haven't been talking about, they're investigating the investigators now. And they just opened a criminal investigation. So we're going to see people get called in. They're going to have to answer to somebody and present some documents, because now this is a criminal investigation. Now we're going to wait to see what the investigators were up to. And, it's going to be interesting, especially, who knows, that shit may come around right towards the election. And that's going to look real bad for the Democrats. And it's kind of sad, because it's already looking bad for the Democrats right now. They can't even get a real, a competent person to run against Trump that even stands a chance. I don't know, man. Y'all better chill back with this impeachment shit, because y'all definitely don't want Pence. I don't want Pence. I'm a believer in facts and logic, and homeboy believes too much in that quote unquote good book to believe in facts and logic, bro. At the end of the day, that disqualifies him immediately.
That is yeah. Pence is that's a whole other bag one. He's a very interesting character. Yeah,
I don't believe in evolution. He believes in Adam and Eve, bro. He really come on, man. So stupid. I mean, I ain't trying to be mean to anybody. Like, I respect people who believe in the Bible. Don't get me wrong. When people talk like about their faith and stuff, and I actually agree with a lot of shit that they say. It's just that I don't let that shit get into my politics at all. So it's no disrespect to any of them out there.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Well, that's a bet, Miss Cassie. I'm gonna catch a couple more calls, but I appreciate you. Well, you're calling in. I did open my back, so you called in and sharing. And I apologize that you were waiting on hold for so long.
No, it's all good, man. I know how it is. I was just being rude.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Because I know you can handle it.
Yes, and I appreciate the tip on the Outer Worlds. I'm gonna check that. I should have been downloading now, but I'm gonna download it after streaming. Maybe give it a run tomorrow because that's my type of game. So I will look into it.
Yeah, man, you'll enjoy it. It's way better than Fallout 4. It's actual role play elements in it this time.
Oh, okay, we're definitely gonna check that out. Absolutely. Well, fuck Call of Duty, goddamn. I'm playing Outer Worlds. All right. Well, I appreciate it, Miss Cash. And as always, it is great to hear from you. And
yay.
And to see your price. So thank you for calling in. You have a good evening.
Have a good one.
All right, you too. There are a bunch of people speaking languages I don't comprende. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Oh shit, man, it's Felice. I was about to go to sleep.
So, Felice, what's the motherfucking deal? Yeah, I already gave you a good night message in the damn chat, Dog. What's up with it, man? How you doing this evening, Solis?
I'm doing all right, man. Just chilling. But there's a lot of Trump supporters in here, bro. I mean, shit, everybody going for Trump.
Yeah, I've been waiting for somebody to come in from the other side. Like I said, all opinions are welcome. I mean, but it's just, I think we have a lot of people that like Trump for whatever reason. I think various different reasons. But what about you, man? What are your beliefs? What are your thoughts?
Man, I honestly think ever since like 2017 and now you're looking at the candidates, none of them were good, man. Not Trump. They're all fucking bullshitters. I think, man. I mean, really, I just think we just going downhill as a country. So just the people that we showing now or trying to advertise to be president is just some bullshit. I mean, I think they all say the same shit and don't do nothing different. To be honest, I mean, it is what it is. Okay. It's just a cycle, basically.
Okay. So, I mean, when you're just looking at it, and if you were to say, even though there are a lot of them is the same shit, a lot of it is talking. I mean, who would you say? Do you think any of them actually stand out just a little bit? Do you think any of the, say, Democratic candidates would be better than Trump? Do you think any of them have a chance of beating Trump? Or what are your thoughts?
See, I was going for Beto, bro, but then like his ass wants to be all stupid too with going with whatever else other people were going. So I was like, nah, I'm good with you because you just saying some stupid shit too.
Okay.
I mean, it's just bad candidates, man. It's the same thing as 2017. It's just bad candidates. I mean, I remember watching that shit in school, and Hillary and fucking Trump were both contradicting themselves in the same speech of what they were just saying before. So if a 17-year-old kid could catch that, I mean, I knew they weren't going to be shit. None of them were as president, so they were just going to be little followers and puppets.
Okay. And I'm just seeing some of y'all who texting on the line. I apologize if I missed your some of your text, but I will get to all of y'all. So, I mean, what do you think the outcome is? What do you think the outcome is going to be? I mean, do you think Trump is going to win it again? Do you think that something's going to happen with this impeachment? Do you think he'll be impeached and maybe a Democrat takes over? What do you think is going to happen?
Like, would I want him to be impeached? Do I think he's a good president? Hell no. I mean, with the shit that he says, how he carries himself, he's not a good diplomatic leader that we need as president. He doesn't represent America, I feel like, to me. I mean, even when he said he was going to deport all the illegals or whatever, right? I mean, I have friends that are dreamers, right? Quote unquote dreamers. I grew up with them. And they were kind of like, when he said that, it was kind of scary. These are my friends, you know. So I was seeing this like as a first person perspective of how he was saying to some of my close friends of what he wanted to do. Like they were all rapists, murderers. Now, like you actually get to know some of these people. These are some of the hardest working fucking people out there. I mean, I have a friend because I live in the country. He used to live at this dude's house, and his dad was he would work on this guy's property. He let him live there with the family and stuff. And he was illegal, right? And so he would pay him under the table, you know, had his family a trailer and stuff, and let him live on the property just as long as he kept up with work. I mean, and that's what he did. That's what he still does to this day.
Yeah.
And to me, man, for someone to belittle people like that, he doesn't seem like he's a good fit. I mean, especially when you walk a mile in someone's shoes like that and you see what they do to try to provide for their family for a better life, and then you see what people in Mexico do to like Mexican American citizens because they'll take them for ransom, right? And hold them for ransom because they're richer than the people over there because they're American. So when you have that perspective in it, it's a little bit different. And I think that the way he just carries himself in situations overseas is just stupid. I mean, you can't insult a country and expect them not to like do some shit with you, or you can't have certain ties with some people that are corrupt and expect people to not look at you a certain way, like you're corrupt yourself. It's kind of a double-edged sword. I mean, I see why people like him, I see why people don't, but has he changed the country for me to see shit? No. Same thing he said he was going to fix the inner city. The inner city there's still shootings happening, man. I mean, it's still the hood where people go. He ain't changing shit. He's like the last president. He ain't changing shit, but just keeping it the same. As long as the check come through, you ain't changing nothing.
Okay.
And so that's really my input on it, man. I think now this country is just nothing but sheeps. And so they just need a shepherd to lead them. We got no wolves in the pack no more. You know, we got remember just in the 1990s, you had revolutionaries. You had people wanted to start shit, make a movement and shit for people to believe in. Now you can't do that shit no more. Internet took over. People just want to follow something for a click and let alone to believe in something that's real.
So you're saying, you know, the personal view that you have with, relationships that you established, and it kind of went against some of the things, or some of his views have gone against the personal relationships that you have. So that kind of sways you against, what he's saying. And that's Trump. But what about, like I said, with the impeachment, do you think that he's actually going to get put out of office? Or do you think it's just more bullshit?
It's just more bullshit. Just people want to talk. I mean, that would be great if he did, but the same person's probably going to do the same shit after him, you know? It's all the same thing. It's just a game. Ain't no real politics no more.
Okay.
I think it's just mainly private companies really influence America and stuff like that.
So,
well, I mean, go ahead.
No, so like when you look at anything that's available, do you see any change? I mean, because it's funny because it used to always be the right, the conservative groups. They were the ones that was considered under the corporate thumb, doing anything for the money. But you see a lot of these, this term corporate Democrats has come about because a lot of them are doing the same thing. So do you really see a difference? Like, I mean, I know you've kind of said it's all the same shit, so people are going to do the same thing. But is there anybody on the left that, would be advantageous to your views? Maybe, helping the dreamers and doing those things. Like, is there anybody, I know you said Breno, but he started saying some dumb shit. So, is there anybody that you would have any iota of faith in? Or is this like, you just kind of, I guess you say nihilistic about the whole thing?
It would probably have to be another, I want to say 8-10 years down the line for someone to come up like that. It wouldn't be now. I want to see anybody now doing it.
Okay, but in that 8 to 10 years, do you think it would be the situation gets worse?
It can get worse in a lot of ways if you look at it. You with the shit happening now with the type of politics people are talking about, with, what we were talking about earlier, the transgender community, or just groups of people that want to be heard and shit like that, trying to please everyone. Yeah, it could crumble like that. But or I remember one dude said the other night he said the illegals are replacing the black people or something like that. I mean, I was kind of thinking about that. I was like, well, man, I mean, when you have, like, I have a friend right now, he's in the Air Force, but he was illegal, right? So he was able to drive around town and stuff, but he had no driver's license, because if he went, he would have been deported. He would, oh, you're illegal. Yeah. Can't really get a driver's license. So when he was a senior, yeah, he had, like, really no hope for college and stuff, because what are you going to do, man? You don't have no Social Security. You're not really a citizen. So he went to go talk to the military, and the military said, you want to be a citizen? We got you. You want to go sign him up? He's in the Air Force right now. I mean, that's what I see them doing to people, like, or people I know, my peers, just put them in the military, because they know other place and the military needs help. I mean, ain't nobody really going no more besides people that want to be Americans.
I mean, do you think that should be an option for people? Hey, if you want to become, maybe that's a fast track to citizenship or something like that. Hey, go and serve in the military. And we expedite you, or maybe put you in the front of the list for consideration for citizenship, or you do your 4 years or however much time, you can earn your citizenship. Do you think that should be an option?
Oh, yes, most definitely, man, because I feel like that would help a lot of people that don't really have any type of structure. I mean, you got generations right now in my hometown, just, they grow up, they go to work because that's all they know. They don't think about college. They don't think anything about to further their life, or further their mind. All they know is, like, my dad did this, he worked every day, I'm going to do the same thing and work every day. So the military does hold options for people like that. It expands their mind, it helps them. You basically set a structure for them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Nothing with that. Anything else that's on your mind? Anything else that you'd like to add to it?
No, man, that's really all I had.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate it. So, Lisa, as always, man, I enjoy your calls, man. I enjoy hearing your point of view.
All right. No problem, man. You too.
All right. You have a good evening, man. All right. We can take one or two more calls, man. What time is it? We can take one or two more calls. So we'll see. Again, like I say, we've seen some people in the chat. What? We've seen some people in the chat, espousing their views. The line is open for everybody. Everybody is welcome to call. There is no judgment, no bias here. I may not agree with everything you say. I may agree with some of the things you say, but everybody's welcome to call in. Feel free to utilize it. That's a thing that I have noticed. That sounds terrible. I'll tell you one thing. Heidi has the worst music on her fucking stories. See, that's why I don't go to anybody's Instagram stories, because I've been scarred. Like David Carr, he's been sacked too many times, so he became a terrible quarterback. I don't go into the Instagram stories because I've been scarred by Heidi's, and the music is always bad. So I think all Instagram stories have bad music, and so I don't even want to fool with it. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
This is Elvin.
Could you repeat that one more time? I want to make sure I say that right.
What'd you say?
Could you repeat your name one more time? I want to make sure I pronounce it right.
Yeah, is it Elvin?
Elvin?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, how you doing, Elvin? What is on your mind about tonight's topic?
What do people like about Trump so much?
I think lots of people have different perspectives. I think lots of people have different views. Some people feel like, he's stalwart against a lot of the things that are being pushed by, far left individuals who are trying to change the way, I guess you would say, people have been used to living, with pushing a lot of the LGBT agendas. Some people don't agree with that. Some people feel like he just represents business, bringing back jobs, bringing back sensible. I mean, standing up to politics, I guess old school politics, whatever you want to call it, gets a newcomer to the arena. Being a businessman, a lot of people believe Trump is a very successful businessman. They feel like he can do that for the country, bring us back to a position of power. And a lot of people, I think, just likes the fact that he speaks his mind, that he says what he feels, and he's not trying to play the PC game.
Yeah. Trump is very nice. He knows what he talks about sometimes, and I think it's different from everybody else. Very no filter.
Okay. Do you like Trump, or you just kind of just interested in the whole situation, or is there someone you like on the other side?
I'm kind of in the middle. Sometimes I like Trump. He's very funny, but then sometimes I think he's a little weird. I think he talks too much sometimes.
Okay. What is it that you find weird about it?
I don't know. Sometimes he just seems like he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know about some of the foreign affairs that goes on.
Okay. Is there anything that you just do not like about Trump? Is there anything that kind of disgusts you with Trump?
No, nothing disgusts me with Trump. Like I said, I like him. He's kind of funny. His hair looks funny too. Sometimes in the wind, it kind of blows everywhere. I don't know. I don't have a problem with him.
Okay. Are there any Democratic candidates that are currently running for office that you like?
I don't know. Bernie Sanders seems kind of interesting. He has a kind of a Canadian approach, but I'm not sure how well that would work. I don't know. That's really about it as far as some of the Democratic ones.
Okay. Bernie might not make it. He's got some health issues going on. I don't know if being president seems to take a big toll on people. I don't know if he'll make it through a term. I would worry about Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie seems like he could just cough and die the next day, so I don't know.
Yeah, you better not do that. That might not be a good idea. Okay. So what else is on your mind when it comes to politics in America? What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I've kind of followed a little bit with Bush and then Obama and then now with Trump, and sometimes it's very up and down. Sometimes everybody is very contradictory.
I can agree. I think everybody, like I said, I think a lot of it is there. I think a lot of them are birds of the same feather, but I think it's just kind of who's saying the right things at the moment. And I think the way that, everybody is I think America's getting really soft. And I think Trump kind of stands to some people as a beacon of strength and power. And so I think they like that image. They read that image. And then I read somewhere that a lot of people, especially in America, are used to having a boss. And so he provides like that boss-like image. So there's a lot of people who have an affinity to him because of that. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I remember when Trump had his own TV show and he goes, "You fired." I thought that was very funny, but very, very commending.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I ever watched the show. I don't watch enough TV to. I'm out the loop. But I do know what you're talking about. So okay, that might be a thing that I think. How much of that do you think may have played into people being interested in him being president? Having the TV show, and maybe a lot of people being used to seeing his face, so maybe that made them affectionate towards him.
Yeah, maybe. People thought maybe they could relate to him, and it was something that nobody really has ever done. So maybe that's why people vote for him. I don't know. Maybe they just voted for him just to vote for him. I don't know. Maybe. I can't really tell.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else? Any other opinions or thoughts that you'd like to share with us?
No, that's about it.
Okay. Elvadine?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I want to make sure I said that well. I appreciate you calling in and sharing your opinions with us in the den this evening.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Have a good night. Bye
You
bye.
too. Thanks, sir. Interesting. Interesting. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hello?
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 Yes, who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hi, this is Unspoken Voices. I spoke to you earlier on the sports channel.
Oh, Unspoken Voices.
I did decide to check out the chat tonight.
Okay, how are you doing, Miss Unspoken? What's on your
I
mind
am
this evening?
just amazed with the stuff that I heard tonight. Oh, I'm just out of my mind. Oh, I just can't believe some of the stuff that I heard.
Okay, well, let's talk about
I
it.
just want to say, I'm just gonna try to be so short because I'm just like I can say so much because what I heard tonight was a lot of talk. It was not a lot of it for me, in my opinion. This is my opinion, just like everybody else had opinion tonight. I don't look at right or left. To me, I dismiss that because you do have two parties, and we have independent parties, so forth. You have to register for one if you want to vote. And for me, both parties, the Republican and Democrats, that's been part of U.S. history, they're the same coin of two sides, one's head, one's tail. They work together, whether or not the people and society really realize when you get deep down into it, do some research. If you look at some policies, I'm a policy person. I like to look up the government policy, look at the bills and read them, look at local and city and county, state and federal government policy and how they all interact. And I do listen to all different types of news and commentators from YouTube, but I like to read and gather information before I make a decision to understand. And I look at history. And I heard some of the stuff tonight just really bothered me. How you can paint. All I heard is the Democrats and liberals, they're all like this. They want all this liberal giveaway stuff. I said, wow, damn. You know, everybody wants a free handout. Well, I guess you better look at the tax policy some of these corporations get. That's welfare. You know, do you understand? I mean, it's like, do you understand that's welfare? It's just the terminology and the words that we choose to use. As far as Trump, I like Trump because I like his openness. He didn't. The Democrats has been a lot of politicians. They hide, and people in society, on your job in society, they hide behind bullshit. I'd rather for you to be upfront, you know, and say who you are. And I heard a lot of people say who they are tonight. And their decision, how they make decisions, and how they paint brushes. What's the difference between a good guy with a gun? I need to talk to that person, or a bad guy with a gun. A gun is a goddamn gun. But it's one person that wants to have only what they consider, in their opinion, what should be a good guy that should have a gun to protect their families and their homes, and how they can walk around with a gun and don't get stopped, don't get questioned. That's very condescending. That's it's like wow, really? So your decision, your personal belief, should be the way that things go. You know, no matter what. I just heard a lot of and about the racism. People, black people, people in Chicago with guns. Wow, there's been murders, and one of the murders people in society has been white society. Look how this country was founded. Look at the military. I mean, it's just so pathetic. It's like you don't know history. I heard one guy say, history repeats itself. You're damn right it repeats itself. You need to get a real book and really understand, because we don't teach real history in our schools. You know that. We leave stuff out. It's the author that gets to determine what is told as history. It is, and the policies. I didn't hear really nothing about policy. And Hillary Clinton and Republicans. You guys act like the Republicans are such saints. They've done such good. Capitalism works on both sides. Don't you guys know that immigration is profitable for Republicans and their business and their capital? That's why they use it. That's why they don't enforce it, so they can make a dollar, make more profit. Well, U.S. citizens can't get a job. No, none of that. It's like nobody's read the immigration policy. And how can we be a country? A country has to stand on, we're made on borders. So we're not even a nation. You can't be a country without borders, without policy and laws. And so if you come into this country, whether you do it through the paperwork or you do it illegally, you're illegal alien to me. You should not have no rights. You should not be considered a citizen, because there's a difference between, otherwise we don't even need to have that in law. Or should we get rid of the Constitution, because, or get rid of all the policies? Are we going to that? Because I don't care what country you come from. If you came into the United States illegally, whether your kids, whatever happened in your country, whatever's going on in your country, you do not, as far as I'm concerned, you don't have the right to come in here and just say, well, my country's, we have gangs and all this stuff is going on, and we want to have a better life. There's people here that's been in America, especially my culture, my heritage. My mother came out of Texas, and Waco and Moody, Texas, where her brother was lynched coming out the military. She had to see her brother hung from a swinging tree. You know what I'm saying? And they just like, reparations? We don't want to talk about that. We don't owe nothing. You got a 400-year start, but you don't want to hear that. You're just looking for get over slavery. Forget that. They got history books now saying we all immigrants. Hell fucking no. I'm not no fucking immigrant. I'm American, black, ADOs, American descendant of slaves over 4 generations. I don't care if you're from Africa, Nigeria, and let me tell you about the Africans and Nigerians. They come to Harvard and our colleges and so forth, and they use affirmative action, which was supposed to be specifically for black people to remedy some of the harm that the slavery and the racism and the laws that's still in the books today. You know, let's talk history. Let's talk some facts. Let's get into the laws and the policy that is targeted at one specific group since this country was founded. You guys want to? It's like pretend. Get over it. That's not how it is. We all want to be equal. And the LGBT stuff. Oh my God, please. And they will get up and fight for that, you know. And then they blame it on the Democrats. It's Democrats and Republicans. They gays on both sides. They use that to their advantage too. They're talking to their constituents about that too, because they have constituents in their district that are LGBT too. You know, it's like they're so ignorant. Oh my God, it's America. There's no wonder we're like we are today. You know, but we can't have no laws. It's okay for and then the policy about the immigrants, education. Okay, it's financial FAFSA, financial aid. You go on the website, look at financial FAFSA, and you don't have to be a citizen. You can walk in this country today and get free financial aid. Have you looked at the U.S. grants? And you can have your family. You have H-1 visas. How many different have H-1 visa? Have J, K, L, M, K? And anybody look that up and how that's enforced? They have law firms, U.S. law firms in San Francisco, different places, enforcing, showing how they can beat the government to get immigrants over here from China, Russia, everywhere else, where they get business loans, where they can have their sister, their grandfather, generations come. But then we have a certain law where we have people have to fill out the forms and stuff to get into the country legally. They have to be on the back burner that did the process. But then we had all of these companies, and you wonder why people are in the street talking about the homeless. The guy talking about where he was down there feeding the people in San Diego and all that stuff. They're just, lazy, don't want to do nothing. Damn, they could have a damn job, but they don't want to hire them. They prefer to hire illegals because then they don't have to pay them a living wage. Come on. And then they want to reduce the union of the safety. We had time in this country where we had little children working in factories and stuff, where there's no safety violations, where fires and stuff. There was chemicals and stuff. You have to have some kind of protection for the people. The government is not all bad as people say. They want to be in your business. But you have to have some kind of balance and law protection, something that we can all have some kind of statute to look towards to protect people, all people. You know, not just some people. If you use it the correct way, if people would allow it, because the people that are in those agencies, they have biases and racism and themselves. This country has been worked on brute cold. So that's all I got to say. I could say a whole bunch more. But I'm a policy. Please look at policy. I heard people talking about looking at CNN and don't you understand how media and communications, look it up. Communication and propaganda, that's how media works. That's how capitalism make money. They selling the story to you. Until you understand that you're getting sold a story, then do your research. Ask what, when, and why. Who's the author? Who's writing this? How did they come to that conclusion? What's the background of the person that wrote this story? What's behind that country, that corporation? What's some of the things that they've been doing? You know, before you just go off. I'm not mad at anybody having money, whatever, and about hard work. Oh shit. Oh, people they deserve. They do work hard for that. Damn it, they work hard, but they had protections to get to where they had to go. There was policy in place, opportunities for them to use that policy to get to the next step. You know, they had to have protection. They just couldn't go walk in the bank and grab the money, go to their job, and just say, I worked hard, now I want this amount of money. There's protections and agenda. There's a certain layout. Shit. Yeah. There's plenty of people that didn't work hard to get where they got. They stole and cheated and robbed and killed and did all kinds of stuff. And they look sometimes in suits and ties. You know? Be the smartest people that you know. Look at the crash. The crash that we had. Pulse and them guys. I don't know if you ever go to the G20 meeting when they have it over in Dubai. Nobody. Do you ever watch one of those? Do you go to the Aspen Center? Do you do Harvard? Do you do to the think tanks and so forth to see what they're talking about, what they're pushing, what the agenda is, and what the money? Follow the money. Shit. So anyway, I'm gonna let you go talk. I don't know if I can stomach this show tonight. I gotta go have a drink. I'm getting midnight after night.
Well, look, have a drink for me too.
But I heard some really foul stuff in there. And really accusations of people. I mean, to just brush a whole people, the Democrats and the Republicans, they're all like that. Damn, that's pretty weak-minded. That sounds like some goddamn Bill O'Brien kid. I'm gonna remind me, Bill O'Brien, shit. He's not gonna take the blame. He just said that's how the office go. We're just gonna work hard. We're gonna go in there next week. We're just gonna keep doing it. Oh shit! People, come on, wake up. Use your brain. Do some thinking. Go back, read. Use your brain. Think outside the box. Question. I don't know. I said like, oh my God. I don't know.
We spoken.
You guys need to say it back to me. I thought I was watching SNL. I thought this fucking shit was a comedy. Some of the shit I heard tonight. You have unzipped a whole lot of things, and I would think it would be a lot to cover. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but it was just so much stuff. I've been online for about 2 hours, about an hour and a half. And I was looking at this stuff. Reparations happen over my dead body, but I'm looking in your comments right now. But we just gave the Republicans and the Democratic Party just been giving Israel for the Holocaust billions of dollars, and it didn't even happen on our soil. It happened in Germany. And we giving it to their kids. It's like not even over 100 years, and it didn't even happen in America. It happened in Germany. But we giving them reparations, land, money for their families. And it wasn't that the Holocaust was no more than 10 years. But we was in slavery, and we couldn't even read, write, couldn't go to school. We couldn't own property. We got redlining. It's consistently. But we can't talk about reparations. for some shit that that was done to us here right on American soil, and we built this damn country. But we can give Israel money. Oh, I'm not anti-Semitic. That's going to be the next thing. As soon as you say that, you say something about Israel, you're anti-Semitic. If you say anything about LGBT, you're homophobic.
Man.
So my nephew and guys ain't little boy ain't gonna play with no goddamn dogs. Hell no. Hell to the no. And then they got over here at Lower Elementary School in Oakland, California. They got my niece was in the class. Oh, one day the lady, she's transgender, call her Mister. One day Mrs. I got her a spy camera. I put it on her. So when she go to class every day, I want to know what the hell she doing. That teacher, because you ain't gonna indoctrinate. We got to go back and I got to go back and undo what she learned that day and see what she's talking about. That she's pushing the agenda. They got a curriculum, a core. The federal government's paying core curriculum that we have from federal education. Boys can be girls if they want to. Girls can be boys. They can. That kids dressing and the child can't boys putting little dresses on and shit. What the hell wrong with these people? I don't need you to tell me. I don't care what you do. If that's your choice, don't push that on me because I believe in man and woman and reproductive. Otherwise, let's throw out biology. Why do we have biology? Let's forget the sciences because that's determines our gender. Men have penises and women have vaginas. So we just gonna throw all the research and science. We throw all these billions of dollars behind meditation and stuff for women and men and study. Well, we need to just get rid of all that money. Just give it to us. Give me that reparation. Give me all that shit back. That'd be my reparation. You guys worried about the budget and money? We wasting money if we thinking that you could be a boy. That man, I can just walk in. What if I just sit today and say, "Oh, I'm gonna be white today. I'm gonna walk into there. I'm gonna check. I'm white today. I'm gonna be white today. I ain't black. I'm white."
I did that shit. My credit went up. So I mean, it's all good. Do that shit.
You think you can do that? Well, I don't have no credit score. My credit score is 900. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, you know, I'm trans credit, so you know, my shit good. So you know, I decide how good my credit is today.
Yeah.
But I mean, but that's the thing though. Cause I swear I seen it. I want to say in Cali, or one of those places where they're allowing you on your driver's license you can change your race. You can say I identify as whatever, and that's where I think a lot of these things are getting crazy. But like I say, you touched on a whole lot of things. I
am a retired social worker, and I worked in the prisons. I work with women and children, and you could go down to the welfare office. Let me tell you, and they have a separate application. Like I think it was Mello. She talked about when she went to go get some food stamps or something when she wasn't working. You can't get shit. They give it to all the. I mean, they have an application now. If you stay, they want to know how much money that you have income. Now, Canada Cash Aid, maybe you get $500-600, right? Maybe in California, maybe it'd be less in other states. And then the food stamps. Now, if I'm living in a house, you know how high rent is in different places, right? So if I'm paying $1,500 in an apartment, right, and I'm gonna go around and apply for food stamps, and they want to know you're supposed to be able to tell where's how you paying the rent if you don't have no money. Where's the rest of the money coming? Because you're supposed to put it on the application. Everybody in the household, where's all the income? If you lying, that's fraud, right? Shit. Look at how the immigration application. And I know people think I'm being disrespectful or racist, whatever. That is the true policy. Look at HUD housing. Look how they changed. They say not illegal. You're not illegal alien. You know the new words and how terminology and linguistics played too. How you can use I'm undocumented. Oh, I'm undocumented. I have a green card. How many green cards? See, you have to just go. If you just took the time on this to go through one immigration policy, how it affects all the different other policies. Education. This is my last thing I'm going to say. I'm going to let you go. ESL. We spend millions of dollars to teach Spanish to English learners, right? Our white kids and black kids can't get a foreign language to the 7th fucking grade, and they say we live in a global economy. How can we compete for jobs, right? I couldn't get a job at the 99-cent store. A guy told me I need to speak Spanish. I was just because I go on Walgreens somewhere, they speak in Spanish like I'm trying to ask for a certain thing. They can't speak English. But we steady spending money, millions of dollars, but our kids can't get a foreign language in 7th grade. Come on, what the fuck is going on? That's Democrats and Republicans doing that shit. And Donald Trump, I wish he would stand readily and tall. Forget that damn wall. Walls don't mean shit. Mexico, if you talking about the border, so we do tunnels. How you think we do tunnels? We don't do no damn walls. Shit, you know all them tunnels we built, pushing drugs through there and traveling and shit. What's the big drug dealer? He had him a shower, all those motorcycle and everything. Come on. They ain't coming through over the damn wall. They coming through the tunnel. They come across the border. They getting on the planes coming with visas. Stay overstay, they stay. Nobody's checking them. I mean, we got all this technology. Tell me you can't check a visa, your card to see where a person's at? Come on, shit. That's just a whole bunch of talking bullshit. People got to read through That's like, it just reminds me of Bill Ryan just in a press conference, post-conference after the game, and shit he'll say, well, we just worked hard. We're gonna keep coming back. We don't know how our different players, they just come in one day and they just fit in. We just take another one, we fix another one. They have an injury, they just come in, they're so smart and intelligent, they just fit right on in. I heard him say that shit today. I was like, oh shit. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go because I could just talk about this. I gotta take my ass to bed.
All right, Mr. Spoken. Look, hopefully I can catch you at a future time and we can kind of, maybe a couple of times we can break down on some individual things.
It would be nice. It would really be nice if some people would just give me some policy. Sometimes we just be talking on. Somebody talked about emotions. We emotional. Democrats are emotional. People, you're emotional when you think about human lives and caring for another person, or it's not about. It will never be. It's nothing. I just can't believe in equality. We don't all be equal. Hell no, we can't always be equal. Ain't no such thing as always be equal. I can't be equal to a man. I don't want to be equal to a man. I'm a woman. You're a man. Shit. I don't want to be like a man. I want to be a woman.
Oh,
shit.
You gonna fit right in.
I just want to get my mom. If you don't want to give me my fair share for my job, then I got to go to the paper policy and fool your ass. Because I've done it plenty of times. I'm gonna fight for mine. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to do that. We have to have services for those that are less fortunate to have a voice to do that. Help somebody else. Don't let them get over on you. I'm one that I can stand on my. I can lose a job and I'll be okay with it. Because as long as I can walk in my room and look at my reflection in the mirror, I'm okay. If I can be okay with myself, that means more to me than anything else. That I can sit with me and know who I am. That I can't fall for the bullshit. I'd rather not. I don't want to participate. I just can't play them games. I don't want to play that shit.
I feel you.
It's just a waste of time, and it's like I don't know if I could do another one of those shows tonight. Because I just can't believe some of the stuff people say. I mean, people probably say the same thing about me too. Because they tell me I'm crazy. That lady, I looked at the comments from your sports show. Oh, she's crazy. She's talking too much. I said, okay. But that don't bother me because I just like that. What I'm talking about might not bother them either. I'm okay with that. I'm like Professor Trill. That's your. You'll stand on yours. I'll stand on mine. I'm cool. But I know who I am. But I know bullshit when I see it.
Yeah, don't worry about the comments. Look, this is my damn show. If I want you on, I enjoy the conversation. That's all that matters. Look.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'd rather for you to be upfront and say your shit. But sometimes people can say shit is just ridiculous. Sometimes you just got to say that shit ain't right. Because you can't just, when somebody tell me that all the people are like that, they're all Democrats and they're all Republicans and they're just like that, everybody. You can't just take a paintbrush and paint everybody. I mean, shit, that's just too damn easy. That's a cop-out. That's a strong man's argument. That ain't no debate. That ain't no conversation. That's a bunch of bullshit. That's just a bunch of bullshit. If you can't come with me, well, I saw somebody that the homeless people down in San Diego, and they like, well, shit. Okay, he took a shit in the motherfucking shit. Maybe he ain't got no toilet paper. That's why anybody wipe his ass. Why you down there volunteering? Why you get some toilet paper out, offering some toilet paper? Shit. You worry about him shitting in the street? Shit. Well, goddamn, where you go, maybe he been so far gone, so distraught that he couldn't shit anywhere. Shit. I'm just not gonna, I'm not gonna. It's wrong. That's not an appropriate place to do it. Maybe that's all he knows. Whatever happened, you don't know his story. I just can't just like, even if I see something like that, I just can't condemn them all the way. Just something happened. Something must have happened. I just can't say that this person just came in this world just automatically. There's something over time that must have happened to a person. I got to have some kind of common sense and empathy, because if I just look at somebody and just determine who they are, I can't determine who you are just by looking at you. But I can sure in the hell look at some policy and some votes and see which direction you being in and who's doing what and how this shit works. I can base my shit on that. But I just can't just I'm gonna read this personal human being, you know, and tell them, well, that person over there, they like. I could just look at them. What that lady said earlier, I just look at them and can tell that they what they're about. What the fuck? You got some magical shit. I mean, that's a weapon. Maybe we should put that in the U.S. government as one of the military weapons. That we need to use her as an agent. She can go around. Maybe she can tell us what Trump's thinking. What Bernie Sanders thinking. Joe Biden. Shit, we need to have her to go up there and look at them, tell them what she think, what they think. And shit, sound like Miss Cleo. I gotta go. Sound like Miss Cleo. Shit, I can just look at him. I say, oh shit, yep, I can tell. That's the one. Yep. He ain't right. Nope. Nope. I can tell. He came from a bad background. He like that. Oh no. Hell to a no. I would sound like a damn maniac. I just walk up to you and just, at least if I was thinking, I would at least keep that shit to myself and within my mind. But I could just fix my mouth and say that shit. To me, I just keep that shit. Some shit got to be kept to yourself. If you start thinking like that, just to maybe keep that shit to yourself and think about it, sit with it for a little bit, you know, before you just go out and say, "Ooh, that person." I guess I could say, "Hey, Honcho, I'm looking at you now with your hand up on your. I don't know if you still got your hand up to your mouth, and you got a blue hat on." I can say, "Okay, you and Kanye West, y'all look like some police officers because you got the color blue on. Maybe you guys were working with the police officers." Yeah. Look at your hair. Maybe your hair should be cut off. And his is cut short. Yeah, I could tell the kind of person you are. I could just see Kanye what he's thinking. He got his head down. He said no. I mean, come on. I'm just kidding with you.
No, it's all good. I trust me. I enjoy it, and I love the energy you bring.
I'm just looking at you. I said, well, so I can just tell him, shit, I'm looking at you sexy as hell. I'm like, who you gonna say was a nine? How many girls he got? How he like it? You know, you just come up with all kinds of shit. What kind of man is he? What kind of, what is he doing? I just look in his eyes and see something. Who was that? I forgot who was that. Was somebody I looked in their eyes and I saw. I forgot it was a politician or somebody. I looked in. Who was that? I just can't think of. I'm gonna try to remember. They said I looked in their eyes and I could tell who they were. It was some politician or somebody. It was ridiculous. I looked in their eyes and I saw who they were. God damn! I was looking into his eyes. I could tell by his eyes. They were red. Oh, okay. Let me go. Let me finish up my little glass of wine, take my ass to sleep so I can get up in the morning and do what I got to do.
Already. Miss Unspoken.
And you guys take care, and it was fascinating. I thought, Dr. Darity, there's research and for Black Americans. He's been tracking unemployment for years. He said Trump reduced Black unemployment. Oh shit, really? Well, I guess maybe tell that. Well, I'm just from this guy. If you're ever listening, if you think the unemployment numbers, you got to really think about data, because they will use people in prison as not counting as part of unemployment. They don't count the people, Black men in prison. They don't count them in unemployment. Don't you know that? So of course, that's most of our population's in the prison. So they're not going to be counted. So the data going to be reduced. Know your data. Who's the research? Come on. And they part-time, then you got to remember, sometimes they count part-time, full-time jobs, temporary 6 months. That's how they get the data. Use your brain. Use your mathematics is a motherfucker. But they do add up. That's one thing that come out the end. They can make them numbers dance either way they wanted to go to tell a story. Come on.
That is true.
Shit. You could make up why do you think all those financial instruments Goldman Sachs do? How do you think they come, how the algorithms work? Why your channels and stuff, your numbers go down and up? How do you think that happens? numbers, coding.
Yeah.
Especially they don't want you to hear what they want. That's the way to shut your voice down.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the way they do it. You know, the other girl talked about it. Young lady, I think Cassie, whatever her name was, about the YouTube channels. And they mostly, if you talk about something that they don't like, they removed quite a few channels. And if anybody's out there, I want you to go check out a couple documentaries. I want you to go to Jason Black's website. He got 2 beautiful blacks about gentrification and the race war. And check those documentaries out. And those who need to know a little history, go check out Tariq Nasheed. He has a couple good hidden colors. Give you a little history lesson for those of us that we won't find in the books. Get a little history underneath your belt of black history, some of the things that's going on that has happened in the United States. But Jason Black just did a really good race war and talks about Peterson, the white guy that was with Roland Martin. He asked Roland Martin, I'm going to say this last time, I gotta go. Roland Martin, he asked Roland Martin, are you a black man and are you a black man first? He said, Roland Martin said, no, I'm a man, I'm a Christian, I'm a man. You a black man, nigga? Don't you know you're a black man? They don't see you that you're a Christian first. They don't see you as a black man, because this guy said he believed in the white race and his white power and white supremacy, and he believed that white people should be superior. And Roland Martin sit across there, but he wanted Umar Johnson. He wanted to jam him up about him not talking about LGBT and that was incorrect. You know, that affects the black man and woman and reproductive, having a family, love and stuff. That he would get mad at him, but he sat across from that white man. That white man asked him who he was. He said, I'm a Christian. He said, you're not a black man? He said, no, I'm a man. I'm a Christian man. And then I'm black. Ooh, I said, That's why he don't have no more TV1. We got rid of his ass. That's why he a YouTuber now.
That's the word. I didn't know it was on YouTube.
But you know what? Sometimes people have to be removed. Some people just have to be put up, shown for who they really are. And so once you, sometimes it's just like Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe them. Remember that. I gotta go, you guys. So remember that. When people show you who you are, just accept and remember it. Okay. Believe it.
Well, Miss Unspoken, I appreciate the call, and I know it may have been a tough one for you tonight, but I will be looking forward to talking to you in the future.
Yeah, I'm gonna try calling back. I got a couple things I got to do, some agendas I got to carry out.
Okay.
But I definitely will keep in touch and check in every now and then. Okay. I appreciate your content.
All right, thank you.
And I'll try to send something. I got a couple things I got to do for my daughter in college, so. Okay. So I gotta take care of home first.
Yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, you definitely have to take care of home, family first. That's
but and nothing is like you said, life is free and time spent watching your show over or a couple times. Sometimes I go back. I look through all your stuff and look. I had to search. I had to research you too a little bit. I've been doing a little research. See who you are. You gotta know who you are. Who you listening to? I like your content. I want to know. You got to know about people. You don't just put time into someone you don't invest in. That's the way I feel. But my content these days, because our media is very bad. We have some good people out here that's doing some good work, and you're doing some good work. And I appreciate your listeners and the different views and whether I agree with them or not or disagree. I respect each and every one of them.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
Thank you. Good night.
All right, good night. You have a good day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. I'm going to be honest. Let me see where we at. Oh, shit, this is going to be our last call. I know some of y'all wanted to get in. I apologize if I didn't get to y'all. But I got to take care of here shortly. But I appreciate everybody who has been trying to call in. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Ciao. Was everybody drinking and smoking tonight and calling the dead? Lord have mercy. Okay, first, yeah, she was cute. She was cute. I didn't hear anybody say all or everyone or everything. You mean like all Democrats are like this, all Republicans are like that. But sometimes you have to just use common sense and use the eyeball test. If you go somewhere and you see a bunch of hungry people or you see a bunch of homeless people and things like that there, you have to stop and think that policy or something is not working well. Policy either needs to be implemented or they don't have any kind of policy whatsoever. You know what I mean? You don't have time to be running and researching every little thing. It's the eyeball test. And all of the things that this woman just complained about, I want to ask her everything that she complained about, what with them teaching about gays and things like that in school and open borders and all the other stuff, what side is for all that stuff? That was my point. Do you understand that, Honcho?
I get you.
That was my point when I called in initially, is what side is for all of those things. It's not that I'm a Republican or a Democrat because I voted each way and I've been an independent forever. But right now, the one that seems to have the policies and the things that I like, I seem to be leaning much more to the right. That's just how it is right now. I'm not thinking about a long time ago. Yes, you have to know some of the past and your history and things so it doesn't repeat itself. We have to understand that, but we have to know what's going on now and do something to fix it now. A lot of people were in the chat like bashing Trump. I said this, instead of bashing Trump, why don't they list all the good things that the Democrats have done in the last 3 years? Nobody ever comes up with anything like that. And when we talk about how well the economy is doing, because it is doing well under Trump, the first thing some people want to say is, oh, that's because it didn't start with him, it started with Obama. Well, when Obama was president and Osama bin Laden was murdered, they gave Obama the credit for that. Don't you think that started with Bush? Because it did. So you can't have it both ways. You can't have someone take the credit for the previous president and then take the credit for the new president. You're going to make up your mind. It's one way or another. And the other thing is, I find even with some of my family members and some friends that have made poor choices or poor decisions in life, they didn't prepare themselves. And a lot of these people want to live with something like that because they're looking for more handouts. Because they think that they're supposed to be able to live as well as the people that worked hard and invest. Same opportunities that were presented to me was presented to all of them. They wanted to do other things. Just like I've talked with some of my friends in the past about life insurance. My mother taught us when we were kids about life insurance. Even if it was 50 cents, a week you were paying for it, we always had life insurance. Today, these young people don't, a lot of them don't, and I'm not saying all, nothing all. A lot of them don't even talk about life insurance and don't have life insurance because as soon as something happens, they run right to that GoFundMe page. My friend Johnny and I down the Cape would talk. We said, if we have to help bury one more person, so one of my friends said, oh, if I die, just pass around the old hat. And I said, I'm not passing around the old hat if you, and a few months later, she did get her life insurance. You have to be prepared. You can't be sitting there buying designer shoes and drinking and smoking and spending your money on everything else and not saving for a rainy day. And then when something happens, you think everybody else is supposed to take care of it for you. Again, which people are the ones, for the most part, that are more prepared for the future than others? I've made my mistakes also. But I straightened that shit out. You have to be prepared. You have to do things correctly. You have to have some structure. You have to have some order. You have to have a plan. And it seems to be one. And another thing, don't have life insurance. Are you planning on living forever? You know you're going to die. So you should have something. I don't care if it's a small one. What side, what people, for the most part, are better prepared than others, the left or the right? And we know what the answer is. And as much as people don't want to admit it, that's just the way it is. We need to jump on the bandwagon, you know what I mean, and start doing things properly so that we, too, can be more successful in life. You know what I mean? It's the people that are down and out and don't have a savings account and don't have a decent job and don't have money. They're still sitting around waiting for some handouts, waiting for some socialism. You know, because they want to live the same way as the people that worked hard. I can't tell you of how many of my family members or some of my friends think that because I travel and do the things that I do, that they're supposed to have what I have. I put in the work. You mean put in the work, and you too. You mean, and then we have to remember life is not fair, so people need to get over it.
That's true.
If life was fair, I'd have long, luxurious hair like Rapunzel, like I always wanted, but I don't have that. Life is not fair. I wasn't born to a rich woman. You mean life is not fair. You mean so just get over it. I just came back from California. I was afraid to go out there because I thought I was going to run into those crazy liberals. You know, I said, oh, this is not going to, let me keep my mouth shut out here. Okay, now you know I have two sons. I have a foster, and then I have a biological son, and then I have the girl. My two sons live in California. One of them is a self-made millionaire. He was smart about it. The other one is into that Hollywood scene. He doesn't do drugs or anything like that there, but he believes everybody, oh yeah, let everybody in, help them out and things like that. All the while, they're taking all of his taxes, and he's not living as well. Other one that thinks a bit more like me, he's doing extremely well. You mean he's practical. You mean he bought a house, you know, years back, like over 20 years ago. And he didn't go buy a bigger house. He just took that house, and he doubled the size. He expanded, and he did it. He does some bartering. You mean, and then my boys laid down the yard and put in the jacuzzi. You mean, and then the shed, the 2-section shed that somebody can live in. You mean, he laid down those hardwood floors. You know, he was smart about it. He worked for a company. He worked all his way almost up to the top of the company, and then he said, wait a minute, I can do better. You mean? So he quit the company. He invested his money. He started his own business. He made sure he was smart enough to open up his business in a neighborhood where the overhead and the rent is cheaper, but it's a service provided that everybody is going to need around there, and his business is in the center, so he's the magnet for it. You know, I listened to him on the telephone, you mean talking to his nephew, or his wife's nephew, and his wife is from Mexico. She's the best wife I could ever want for my son. She's the best. She's second to none. But he was on that phone making sure, did we hit the $5,000 mark? Each day we got to hit that $5,000 mark. So he finally hit $1 million. So he's proud, and I'm proud of him that he's a self-made millionaire. But that takes hard work. He says he does not like getting up 6 o'clock every morning to open up the shop at 7. But you know what? He has to do it. He's had this business, he and his wife, for over 16 years. He has to do it. The other son wants to sit there and write and do some executive producing and things like that, do that for 3-4 months, and then all of a sudden you're off for 3 or 4 months. You mean they live two entirely different lives, and you know I had to unzip my face and go off. You know, really, we have to do better, and you have to plan. We make mistakes, you get back up, just like I listened to you talk about your life, Honcho, that you made some mistakes, you did some things, you know about my life. You know, and some of the mistakes I made, you get back on there and you see what works, and to build a better you, a better person, you go through life and you take the best from each person and say, I think I'll use that, I can possibly use that, I can apply that, and what's not good, I'm just going to leave that behind. You mean, I don't think it's cute, like I said, when our people talk about that CP time, we can joke about it, but don't be going to work and thinking about that you can do that CP time and then get mad when the boss doesn't want to keep you there, and you say, oh, it's because I'm black. No, it's because you think you can be late every day. When I went to college, you know what I mean, at first, that modeling picture I sent you, that was part of the Black Student Union fashion show.
Okay.
I'd sit up there and go to college, right? We'd go into this little section. People be smoking weed and things. I did too. Strumming on the guitar, yet knowing that they had midterms or finals to take, you know, but they're up there all night hanging out. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, the next meeting we'd have, you know what I mean, all the black people were in there complaining that they flunked and things like that there because they're black. No, you should have been home studying and things like that there. You know what I mean? I couldn't study in study groups. I had to come home by myself and sit there. Because when I tried those study groups, it was a lot of wasting time. You mean once I sat and learned to do it by myself and sit there and study, and then when I had James, that wonderful man that allowed me to spend one day extra home when I had a midterm or a final, you mean I went in there as prepared as possible. You mean because at one time I thought only the most intelligent people could go to college, and then I learned that there are some people are intelligent, some people are smart, some people are smart and intelligent. Some people are none, and some people have a variation of each. And you're one of those people that you're smart and you're intelligent. Maybe you weren't always smart. I think you were smart, like you said, when you were in school, and then you messed up, and then you jump back on your smartness again. You mean, so you need to look at those things. In college, educated fools, as my aunt called them. I've run into more assholes in college, especially in this liberal blue state of Massachusetts. You mean, and I found people that aren't formally educated to be some of the most brilliant people, the smartest people. And if you had to stick me on an island, if you said you can only pick someone that's intelligent and somebody that's smart, I think I'd go for the smart person. Okay? But I'm going to get off of who these people are like, whoo, in and drinking and going on and on. I'm like, oh, ye caramba. But you have a good wide awake. I'm up. Now I'm going to have to do something.
All right.
I'm going to have to, let me go do some laundry, something.
Okay. Well, Miss Grace, you know, as always, I enjoy it. And I'm glad you called back. You know, you clarified your position on that. And, you know.
Yeah, but that woman came and she did. She had a lot of good points, but I was going to ask her, you mean all the things you're complaining about, which side? You mean not that you want to take a side, but that's just the reality of it. You mean it seems to be the left that are implementing all of those things in the schools. And when she talked about her nephew or somebody with the ELL kids, how many times have you heard me mention that? Those kids, most resources are going to those kids, and our American kids are getting trapped. I kid you not. You mean it's so bad. You mean those ELLs, my daughter works with the parents and teens. You know what I mean? They have everything. One girl got 3 cribs. They get this. They get that. People say they don't get welfare. You know, my cousin works at the welfare office. They put it under a different name. They have all kind of loopholes for them, but yet we have American people that can't get the help that they need. Like that young girl that called and said that she couldn't get food stamps. If she was an illegal immigrant, I bet she can go down there and get grub stubs. You know what I mean? Now, those are bad policies that need to be changed. And who implements those bad policies and wants to keep them that way and make them worse? Look at the side who's doing it. Everybody needs to just get a piece of paper, draw a line, and write down all the things that they don't like and the things that they do like or what we need to know, and then start writing your left or right, Democrat or Republican, and see who's doing what. And then you can come to a better understanding of where you stand and what side you're on at this moment. It may not always be this way, but right now, that's just the way it is.
I agree.
Okay? I'll see you, my show.
All right, Miss Grace. As always, I enjoyed talking to you, and I'll be looking forward to talking to you very soon.
Okay, hon. Bye-bye.
You have a good evening. All right. So we're going to get ready to wind it down. But there's a couple of things that I want to address. A couple of things that I want to discuss. Now, for the most part, again, and I know timing can be an issue. I know we took some calls longer than usual. We usually do the 10-minute rule, but with this, you know, we definitely took some extended calls. Blame Heidi. I mean, if you ever have a problem in the den, blame Heidi, because it's usually her fault some way. You can blame her. I mean, if you want to finesse it. But again, take some notes here. Give me just a second. everybody's entitled to their opinion. The funny thing about it is, no matter what, you'll never be the one that changes anybody's opinion. You can come with everything you want to try to attempt to bring information. You know, people are going to choose to believe what they want if they want to believe it or not. And that's what makes this all so special. You feel however you feel, and it is what it is. But again, what works best for the individual who has had the experience is going to be generally what they stick with. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've had my own. Yes, you are the escaped goat. That goat has crossed the gun line. Somebody shoot it down. I don't know, Heidi. I think Chicago Mike is back in disguise. But, you know, my thing is just this. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care who you support. But again, because a person has their own personal experiences, you know, I'm not saying I fault you. Heidi's the president. Heidi ain't president of shit. I mean, you have to live your life. You can believe that the government has your best intentions for you if you want to. That's cool. I don't think they do. I don't care who's in office. You don't got your privilege, easy money? Hold on, I got you. Look, we we honor white privilege in the den by giving pistachios. Let's make sure Easy Money gets his pistachio privilege. You know, that's how we do it in the den. Courtesy of Andrew Yang. So my thing though is this, like I said, and I don't care because it doesn't make any difference. I'm not gonna judge. Well, you are a liberal, so I hate you. I can't stand you. It comes down to kind of what Miss Christian. It's not all, but there are those who are ridiculous in their beliefs. And my deal with me personally, why I don't lean that way, why I don't support a lot of views, because again, like you've seen these candidates put out this bullshit. They openly said, again, I'm not with the whole alphabet soup deal. I'm not against them, but I'm not in support of them. So I really could care less. It's not an issue that I deal with. I think it's an overinflated thing that people put out, again, in the media to make it a bigger deal than not. I'm not going to buy into the whole biological confusion, especially of what they're pushing towards these children, because it's nonsense. It's foolishness. Yes, like you said, we're going to ignore the science. We're going to ignore the biology. And my thing is, if you're willing to ignore something as blatant as that, you know, I think that there's going to probably be other flaws and fallacies in your, what I'm looking for here, in your way of thinking. You know, I think a lot of times you have people under the guise of good intentions. They'll say this and say that, kind of like Miss Unspoken made a Bill O'Brien reference to, like the NFL under the guise of player safety. And they increase all these penalties on the defense to make it more offense, and it's funny, more people watch because now you have more offense. I think that's what you do with a lot of these political parties. I'm not saying it's just one side, but I'm going to lean with the side that would benefit me more. It only makes sense. And me personally, I like to think that I'm more for business. I'm more for capitalism. I don't believe in equality in the sense of the fact that if you work harder, you deserve more. Period. You know, that's how I feel. Like, I don't think there's anything else to that. C minus, Heidi. So this whole deal that we need equality and we all need to have a fair playing field. I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like if you put in the work, you deserve more. Point blank, period. But at the same time, you have to learn the game, because you can work hard, but if you're doing, like I say, you know, meaningless work, if nobody benefits from it, like I say, if you're out digging a ditch and you're only getting paid a limited amount of money, you're digging one ditch, only one person work deals off of your manual labor, compared to the guy, like I say, who sold a fucking million phones. Yeah, he deserves fucking more money because he has serviced more people, has helped more people and improved their life. And the thing about it that makes it so beautiful is, you know, because you got people saying, oh, we don't need to have billionaires, and we don't need to have people, don't need to have this much money. Fuck that. Because again, I think you deserve as much money as you can earn. Why not? Why put a cap on ability. And if it's at the expense of others, and we can talk about a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot that got covered tonight. I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired of sitting. I still got to get up early. I'll probably get a good 3 hours of sleep tonight, but that's nothing new. Like I say, it is what it is. I think it's because we've come to this point where we feel like, society is so advanced and, we got to do this, that, and the third. I talk about it all the time. I live kind of in even if it's disadvantageous to me, if it's a disadvantage for me, I like to think, I guess you would say, maybe more primal in a modern society. I don't even know if that's a thing. I don't even know if that makes sense. But what I mean by that is, if there were not these systems and structures put in place, if we were living in the wild, if we were living back in the days of nomads and all those other things, you either survive or you don't. It just is what it is. You learn the skills you need to survive. And if it means that, you have to, you have to push it to the limit sometimes. And it's not going to be comfortable. That's just kind of how it is. And I think when you develop that mindset, a lot of the other things become, I don't want to say less important. And you can say it's maybe an individual mindset or whatever you want to call it. But it is what it is. Now, getting back to the topic at hand, do I think Trump will get impeached? No. This is another fucking ploy. Again, you saw 3 years of fucking Russia, and then you had nothing but that. And that's the thing that bothers me, because it's just always on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing. And none of this stuff comes up to be anything. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So my deal is this. What I do know, exactly. You got 3 hours last night. But here's my deal. In the end, we're all just going to go live at Heidi's house. And we're going to buy small dogs to entertain us. That's just how it works. That's the American dream. But I'm going to slide out, man. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And I appreciate the fact that, y'all came through. I saw, who was it that posted some of these acts? Alonzo, I believe. Did I get Instagram? Yes, make sure you're following on Instagram, Ed Honcho HTX, Twitter, Ed Honcho HTX, and Densho Live on Facebook, doing all those things. But again, I'm going to slide out. We'll be back tomorrow then at 10. And, yes, I will definitely put the outer world. So I appreciate all that. And with that being said, y'all be cool, man. Y'all ain't got to go home, but I got to get the fuck up out of here. I'm gone. Where's the marquee? Marquee, you need to fuck the marquee. Fuck the marquee and his outro music, all that shit. Go outside and then go back home. Like, come on, at least work with me here. Step outside the front door, walk back in, bow. Just do that for me. One more for the fall class.